All right, live stream up and rolling on a Friday. Patrick looks awake. We're starting with some NFL stuff. He's going to be pumped. Bill looks like he's secretly texting or hiding something over there.
Reading an email.
Hello, Friday. We got here a little quicker than usual. If you had Monday off like we were fortunate enough to have. Maybe if you're a big outdoors person, you didn't feel that way, and I understand that one as well. But a little sunshine peeked through this week. Unfortunately, from the Gamecock standpoint, didn't work out for Carolina and Knoxville 2 nights in a row. And it was a 31-game SEC winning streak that comes to an end last night for the Gamecock women's basketball team. That was a tough one. In the second half, up 16 at one point in the ball game. I don't know. Bill, have you ever heard of a basketball player scoring 0 points in the first half and 24 points in the second half? That's what Tennessee's Rennia Davis did last night, and a big reason why the Lady Vols knock off the Gamecocks. You gave me a quizzical look there, sir.
I feel like I have heard it, but I don't really care to research it. We're not a research show. We fudge stats a little bit, or fudge numbers a little bit. So no, not. But I feel like that might have happened at some point. But yeah, tough break for the girls last night. Don't find a way to close the deal, and snaps a long list of winning streaks and things that they were doing. So they'll bounce back. We'll just see how they do it.
75-67 the final score. Leah Boston leading the way with 17-16, I believe, is what she ended up with. And then Zia Cook, Destiny Henderson also with 15 points each. It was just down the stretch. Tennessee was playing with a ton of confidence. I found it really interesting to hear their coach after the game do the SEC Network interview with former Gamecock. What's your girl's name again? I know her name. I don't know why it didn't pop up right in my head. She does the SEC Network coverage there in the studio. Help me out, Bill. Yeah, Alyssa Lang was doing the interview. And, Tennessee had gotten caught in Texas in this ice mess. Texas A&M, they were playing, and so they got caught, and that threw off their schedule. And so the Tennessee coach said, yeah, this is a team that you probably need to prepare for the most, and yet we did the least preparation for. And it kind of showed early on when they were down 16, but for whatever reason, Tennessee kind of flipped the switch. We've been talking a lot about Frank Martin and the Gamecock men's basketball program and coaching and the whole thing. And I thought that was an interesting insight there into how sometimes, man, less is more. And it worked out for Tennessee last night. Heck of a run for the Gamecocks. School record 31 straight SEC wins. And I agree with what you're saying there. They'll bounce back. Sometimes it actually helps in the long run to lose a game here or there this time of year as you're getting ready for postseason play, as long as it doesn't affect your seeding. And I don't think this will. I think the USC one is still very much on pace to get a number 1 seed. They'll need to play well down the stretch to do that. But it was interesting to hear that. Patrick, when you hear a coach say that they prepared the least and then you go see a big win like that, what does it make you think?
That coaches are unnecessary.
Aren't necessary.
Never.
Okay, all right. Coaches aren't necessary.
Players play the game. Dude, I'm trying to catch up. I was locked into a tennis match that literally just ended 2 minutes ago, right as we started.
Tell us about it.
Australian Open's final is set, by the way. Daniil Medvedev just took down Stefanos Tsitsipas, and we're going to have a little Eastern European showdown in the final with Medvedev versus Djokovic.
Okay, big Australian Open semi is what you've been watching all night?
Yeah, well, not all night. I think it started at like 3:30. He went straight set, so it went pretty quick. And then the women's, we got an American in the women's final, and it's not Serena Williams. It's Jennifer Brady of Harrisburg, PA, going to play Naomi Osaka, who's technically Japanese but has lived in America since she was 3. So,
see, I thought Patrick was going to be all fired up in this first segment because of the big NFL trade with Carson Wentz moving from Philly over to his old offensive coordinator in Philly.
I probably
And the
knows about that.
Colts. Okay, but he's showing his range, I guess, his sports range,
I
going
like
to
tennis.
Australia.
I like watching tennis.
Okay, on a. Oh, okay, that's a flaming hot take as well.
Necessary.
Okay, not a hot take, just a preference. Just a
That is true.
preference.
Just an
Wait,
opinion.
okay, so let's rank the totem pole then of sports for Patrick Perrette here. If we got a top, I don't know, 6 to 8 sports,
Okay.
where are you going?
Number 1, lacrosse. Number 2, football. Number 3, basketball. Number 4, baseball. Number 5, tennis. Number 6, what am I going to throw in there at number 6? Then maybe golf slides in there.
Okay, so we'll go to top 6.
Oh, no, wait, why did I forget hockey? Hockey's 4, baseball's 5, tennis is 6.
Yeah, interesting. I don't think tennis cracks my top 5. What about you, Bill? I was a big Boris Becker guy back in the day, but recently, not much of a big
I
tennis
peaked
guy.
out with 93, 94 Agassi.
Sure, images and
Agassi
everything,
is-
though.
Was I forget who Agassi beat in Wimbledon, and that was my peak tennis moment. After that, it was all downhill.
Your peak tennis moment you can't remember?
I
You guys grew
was-
up in the era of American dominance in tennis too, and I've grown up
True.
in the best American
I
I've seen in my
watched
lifetime. is Andy Roddick.
very little Pete Sampras.
He just killed it for you. Is that what you're saying?
Now I'm looking back at this Agassi. When did Agassi win Wimbledon?
I heard 93 or 94. Jen, what about you? Where's tennis on your list of sports in the totem pole?
Yeah.
Top 5? Didn't quite crack the top 5 for
Yeah,
me.
probably. I would say 5.
Okay.
I got into it back in like Capriati.
Sure.
You know, so I do tend to follow it somewhat.
Patrick, ever heard of Jennifer Capriati?
No.
92.
Not
92
necessarily a
was,
story, but tennis was big in my house. I mean, my dad played tennis his whole life, and he and his mom played doubles together until she basically couldn't walk anymore. So we like watching tennis. It's hard. I have a lot of respect for tennis players. I've tried. First of all, I'm terrible. I can't hit the serve ever in the box. I just kind of underhand send it over, and the conditioning is ridiculous.
Good exercise for sure.
They're insane athletes.
All right, let's get you on the NFL hot take there. What'd you think of the Carson Wentz deal for the Eagles and the Colts? So as I understand it, this year it is a third rounder and then a conditional pick in 2022.
Yeah, so it'll be a second rounder next year unless Carson Wentz plays 75% of snaps for the Colts or 70% of the snaps and the Colts make the playoffs. So basically my takeaway is that this is why you can't believe anything you read. Everyone's got a reason for putting out information, and when the Eagles were talking about, or with reporters, presumably with information from inside the Eagles organization, were saying that he's going to net 2-1, similar to the Stafford deal, and the Bears are in on it, and there's all these teams courting him. In reality, it was always going to be the Colts. Frank Reich is the only person that probably wants Carson Wentz right now. Was before the Bears didn't even make an offer. So I don't know. It's just a little flip-flopping with Nick Sirianni leaving the Colts, going to the Eagles, and then trading the Eagles quarterback right back to the Eagles coach, Frank Reich, who won a Super Bowl with Carson Wentz and is now in Indianapolis. A little flip-flopping there. It's impossible to say what he's actually going to be. No one knows how good he'll be, but the Colts, I think it's for a 3-2 to take a shot at a potential franchise quarterback. When you have all the money in the world, the Colts have the number 1 most salary cap space. Last year, they had to trade a first-round pick and pay DeForest Buckner a boatload of money just to hit the salary cap floor. So the fact that they can get Wentz, they've still got money to try and get another receiver, and their left tackle retired, so they can use that first-round pick this year to go ahead and try and get a tackle or a weapon, and then they've got a ton of options. So I'm not even going to begin to speculate on if Frank Reich can fix Carson Wentz, but if he did, it's a home run for the Colts and for the Eagles, who traded to move up and get Carson Wentz and then gave him a ton of money and then got very little value in return and are eating almost $34 million, the largest dead cap hit in NFL history. Not good for the Eagles. An ugly day in Philadelphia. But maybe Carson Wentz maybe Carson Wentz will figure it out. Clearly, he was going through a lot of stuff mentally last year, just a roadblock or something. But being in Philly does not help. Maybe some people just aren't prepared for the Northeast. It's a different animal up there, media-wise and fan base-wise in the NFL. So hopefully, the nice, kind people of the Midwest and Indianapolis will be gentler with them.
Real quick, two things. As a Redskins fan, when we get the personal Redskins take on the Eagles here, going with Jalen Hurts and everything, because I feel like it's about as unbiased of a take as you could have, and I feel like as a Redskins fan, you and your dad secretly high-fived across multiple states last time.
No, as a Redskins fan, I felt nothing with this trade. I mean, it was truly meaningless. Wentz was so bad. If the Eagles rolled into 2021 with him as their quarterback, I would say fine. He doesn't worry me a lick. And we played Jalen Hurts in Week 17, and he was just okay. Jalen Hurts doesn't strike fear into the heart of any fan base, I don't think. And the Eagles are just a terrible team, terrible managed team right now. They have no money. They're basically old and bad. Like, they have so many holes to fill, and they have very little money. They're going to probably try and blow this thing up. I don't even know if they're going to roll with Jalen. They've got the number 6 pick, so if Justin Fields is sitting right there, I imagine they might take a shot on that and say, we got two guys, relatively similar skill sets. Justin Fields can throw a little better, but Jalen Hurts can run like a running back, and depending on how, I don't know what Nick Sirianni's prepared to do with his offense, and if he even knows how to kind of manage an offense for a dual threat quarterback like that, remains to be seen. But I don't know what this means for Philadelphia. I don't think anybody does at this point.
And Jacoby Brissett, what happened to him now?
He would be a backup. He's not a starting quarterback. Yeah, I mean, I don't. Somebody, if they like him a lot, then sure, bring him back. But I think Frank Reich and him seem to have a good relationship. So, I mean, maybe they'll the 75% of snaps thing or the 70% and playoff is interesting. Like, I wonder if they'll just. I would love to see them just implement a bunch of wildcat just to keep the quarterback off the field for more plays or just like rest Carson Wentz whenever they get a lead and try and do whatever they can to keep that number under 70%. But at the end of the day, you'll be happy to give up a first-round pick next year if it means you've got your quarterback in the future.
Real quick, was it 2 weeks ago we did? What was the number? I'm writing down so far what we've got.
Memphis at 18.
18. I've got. I mean, do we count the Eagles in that with Hurts staying in, or is because?
Yeah, go ahead and count them. Yeah.
Okay.
Can you guys tell everyone what you're talking about with that number?
Adam Schefter said
you can watch. You can listen to the show. You listen to the show or you don't. You know what we're talking about or you don't.
Rude.
If you don't know, then listen more often.
Adam Schefter said there will be 18 teams with quarterback changes going into next season, and I'm glad this trade happened just for fun's sake, because all we've heard about is the quarterbacks on the move everywhere, and up until this point, we've only really seen one move. There's only been one trade. All we hear about is Derek Carr is rumored, Marcus Mariota is rumored, Carson Wentz is rumored. All these guys are rumored, and finally we get another domino to fall. So I'm happy about it.
We got 6 right now: Saints, Colts, Eagles, Rams, Lions, Jags.
Well, the Saints, take up your list for now. Nothing's changed yet.
Yeah, Brees hasn't confirmed that he's done. It's still
all he's done is restructure his contract to take a better minimum.
scratch.
So far, there's 4. There's been 2 trades that involve 2 teams each. So.
Well, I mean, you got to count the Jags, right?
Well, the draft hasn't happened yet, but yeah.
Come on, dude. This is what draft analysts do here. Just squeeze the hype, squeeze it for everything it's worth here in February.
I don't know. The Jags might skip Trevor Lawrence.
Well, I mean, it's going to take a lot more thought to go through all of of things that have happened so far. Can we just do them, check them up as they happen? That will make it easier to keep.
He's a facts guy. I like it. 803-404-6100. If you would like to get in on the program, you can call or text. We are here for you on a Friday morning, and Patrick's coming out hot. KT from Lexington, first in 5 a.m. this morning. Guys, typically we would be sitting at Founders Park right now doing opening day takeover for Gamecock baseball. It has been anything but a typical year, which is why we're not doing that. KT says it's finally here. With all the talk about our pitchers, I can't wait to see how good they really are. I hope the sky runs out of water sometime today. Happy Friday, guys and gal, from KT from Lexington at 5 a.m. Ron from Lake Marion, not too far behind. Baseball is back. We will win the SEC, Ron says. We will win in Omaha. Pete Rose should be in the Hall of Fame. It's rained so much the catfish are climbing trees.
Sure. Saw one go walking by last night.
And Billy wanted to weigh in on the tennis conversation we were having to start. Jimmy Connors, Bjorn Borg. That'll tell my age, and can't leave out the bad boy John McEnroe. Well done, Billy. Thank you for some historical perspective to begin this morning. We're off to all kinds of crazy discussion. We're going to continue this a little bit later on. I got my buddy out in L.A. going to join us. This guy stays up all night. He hasn't even gone to sleep yet. And he's going to give us a peek into the future of what used to be baseball cards, sports cards trading. It's a brave new world now, especially as it pertains to the NBA, and this thing blows my mind. So we'll do that in a little bit. We'll talk to our buddy, Daughters of Raceway President Kerry Tharp later on in the program, and talk a lot of Gamecock baseball in between. Continue to recap what happened for Dawn Staley and the USC women last night. Tough loss at Tennessee. And NFL trade has Patrick wide-eyed, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed this morning, pumped up. Bill's written down, 5 or 6 names. I already had to cross out a few of those for NFL teams with new quarterbacks. So that sounds about right. Need to let you know, live stream is sponsored by Buford Lending here. We're up and rolling on YouTube Live, Facebook Live, on the Twitter as well, on the station handle at 1075 The Game, where you can find us. I'm at Tim Hill 1075. Bill is at Will Gunter with 1L. Patrick at _Patrick Perret, and Jen holding things down in the Herndon Chevrolet Studios in downtown Columbia at Jen Jensen Morse, where you can find her on Twitter. It's the early game here.
1075 The Game. Subscribe, please. We haven't gotten a new subscriber in 3 days.
On YouTube. Patrick's just begging today. Just begging again. It's the early game here on 1075 The Game.
Just have it 10 and 40 this hour.
Cool.
Morning, guys, on the live stream. How's it sounding? Sounding okay?
Sounding okay?
Matthew, just sad today.
I don't know why. Because he thinks Glenn sucks.
Shutting Bill down. Nice. Waddy, what is your deal here, sir? She was pretty hot back in the day, a little too crazy. Oh, is that Jennifer Capriati? Got it. I'm guessing that's what that is.
Yeah, see, I wish I grew up with the tennis players that you guys had.
Yeah, you got pretty garbage stuff, huh?
Well, Nadal and Federer are 2 of the greatest of all time, maybe the 2 greatest of all time, but they're super polite and, very proper, not
Fun.
I would have loved to have McEnroe.
Jen, do you want? Yeah, I started talking. You want me to do it when we come back?
Yeah, my brain's not there yet.
I would love
you
Matthew
just cut me off. I was into a very good Crowder commercial.
You had
The next thing I knew, there was a traffic report or a weather report. I don't know what you were doing, but I was doing very good. It was going to be one of my best Crowders ever. I can already tell.
probably. Yep, I agree. Sorry. Okay, after the NFL Network now,
I got the feed cutting in and out on me on my end, Patrick. What about you?
You did disappear for a second, but you popped right back on.
Jen, I can barely hear you.
Fan, I think it's time to hang it up for Breeze. Yeah,
The
don't think anybody
white noise
argues
is loud this morning.
on to that a year ago.
Patrick, the background is dark. All you guys are awful at this.
All of the lights are on in my room, and I have a lamp right here in my face too. I don't know what else I can do.
Really?
I think that lamp might throw off the light, actually, Patrick. What if you turn that one off?
Oh, all right. Oh, there you go. That's
Comes from a
right.
TV guy right there.
Is it better?
Well, it's fine the other way it just looks. It looks like you're sitting in the dark on the other.
It's your call, personal preference.
Yeah.
I'm
All right, Jen. What did you say? When do I need to do this?
After the NFL Network Now. That's a 2-minute segment. And see, I don't understand why I'm so muted. I don't understand.
Yeah.
Because are you the only one who can't hear me?
Well, Tim is really loud. Like I just turned my volume up, and you're fine now. But if Tim speaks, it's gonna sound like he's absolutely screaming at me.
Okay.
You're
But I
fine now, but Tim is like exceptionally loud.
I don't want to like yell and blast everybody out, but I can speak more loudly.
Yeah, you're fine. All right, NFL Network. Got it.
Matthew, yes, sir. In Buford, that's the Buford Lending sponsoring the video stream now. Carlton had to add. I knew how long that would go. That Kornikova needs a little spell check, I think.
Yeah, not quite. Super hot though.
Look at Randy just subscribing on the YouTube page. Boy,
Randy. Who knows who Anna Kournikova is married to?
No clue. Ty, I'm always loud. You're right.
Phil? Enrique Iglesias.
Really?
Oh, she was in the video, right? Back in the day?
Yeah.
That hero line worked with her? All he did is walk up and whisper to her, "Let me be your hero."
I mean, Enrique
One of the
Iglesias
worst
is kind of a
songs
stud, too.
Sir, I believe that's Enrique Iglesias Jr., correct?
Yeah.
What?
Julio Iglesias is his dad.
Oh, so it's not. It's Julio Iglesias that was his dad?
Julio Iglesias, yeah. I believe so.
The king of Latin pop. Yeah, Julio Iglesias is his father.
Good to hear, Matthew. Good to hear.
Yeah. Ben, when am I going?
Thought you were a pro, you just knew.
I thought you said NFL Network.
Yeah, that's what this is. It's a 2-minute.
It has
video.
commercials on the attack on the end of it.
Right. There's spots at the end of it. So you get 30 seconds.
30 seconds. So after Navaj, what is this?
What's your name?
No, some medical bills. Medishare. Yep, we kind of deal in facts around here on this show. Patrick holding me firm to that. Just 4 quarterback changes right now. Colts, Eagles, Rams, Lions. Those are the facts. Let me give you another fact. Interest rates right now for your mortgage, very low. It's an excellent time to refinance. It's an excellent time to buy a home. You should get in touch with Jacob Crowder with First Palmetto Bank and see just how much money he can save for you and your family. That's a fact. 803-719-1005. You can email him the letter J, Crowder, CROWDER at firstpalmetto.com. Again, that cell phone number, you can shoot him a text message. You can give him a phone call, 803-719-1005. Jacob's helping families save $300, $400, even $500 on their monthly mortgage payment right now. And if you're looking to buy a home, again, it's a great time. You can get a lot of house right now for relatively cheap because of the interest rates. Don't wait around. If you're looking to make a move, give the mortgage guru a call today, 803-719-1005. He's Jacob Crowder with First Palmetto Bank.
All right, and Jason is on the phone.
All right, we're going to do this interview about the NBA Top Shot. Are you prepared, Patrick? It's a question.
I only know vaguely what it is. Yeah. I'm ready.
I'll turn it up in here.
Bill, did you have baseball cards growing up? Were you a baseball card guy?
Yeah, had a lot. Did you ever go to a baseball card show?
Oh yeah, are you kidding me? I'm a huge nerd, of course.
Did you? Now that you look back on it, was that not the creepiest thing ever? Like a bunch of guys just in a hotel ballroom? Because I remember going to baseball card shows. My dad and I we would go to baseball card. There was two particular baseball card stores, maybe collector stores, but baseball card stores. There was one on US #1 down. If people are familiar with what I'm talking about, there's a Sonic there now. There's a Chinese restaurant. Callaway's, the bar Callaway's over there, but there was a baseball card store there in that little shopping center.
Yeah.
And then there was one on Broad River Road, St. Andrews, across from the big factory. It was kind of in the back. It's where seafood market is now. But man, yeah, that was an every Saturday thing. You get your Beckett monthly or weekly. You'd see the price. It was honestly like watching stocks. I sit here and watch the stocks every morning. You see if your card went up or went down. I remember going to several baseball card shows. I had the binders. I had all the binders with the cards in there. It was crazy.
Well, now you can just trade gifts online.
Yeah, so Patrick, were you a card guy growing up? This was not your era, being born in 1995, correct?
No, I mean, I have cards. I have a box of cards in my closet back home, but it wasn't like I traded. I mean, maybe I traded amongst friends, but it wasn't any sort of financial opportunity for me. I just thought it was cool, and I would flip through them and learn about players that way.
Gotcha.
I'd never heard of a card show. I mean, I never knew about them.
I'm kind of reliving my card collection now with my kids. I busted them out. I mean, we're in the middle of a pandemic and they're home a lot, so we got a lot of free time. So I busted them out not too long ago. I was like, yeah, you guys go out. And so yesterday, my 5-year-old is asking me, who's better, Larry Bird or Magic Johnson? Charles Barkley or Magic Johnson? He's got to put them all in order that he's got. It's incredible to me where this thing has gone. Exactly like you were talking about, Patrick. That's why we're going out to the Love Chevy phone lines right now to talk about something I didn't even know about until I got a call yesterday from my buddy Jason Harrell. Jason, how are you? You're still up over there in LA. It's 3:30 your time. You're a vampire. Well done. You and Patrick, very similar lifestyles. What is NBA Top Shot? I just went to NBATopShot.com, and this thing blows my mind. It seems to be the combination of sports cards and cryptocurrency, along with basically your phone or gifts or video or whatever. Is that a decent way of describing it, or am I just an old man completely out of touch? Are you guys as confused about this as I am?
Right.
Bill, you look like you might be lost. I'm not sure what's going on.
Let me give a
questions.
little background real quick. When you say I might be lost, yesterday Tim sends us an email on this, and I'm busy. I was busy yesterday. I was real busy yesterday.
Busy man.
And it just said Top Shot, and it talked about Jason, and I was like, oh, he's talking about like some kind of trick shots that this guy, like, I literally just, it was one of those things. I looked at my email, I was like, yeah, that sounds good, have him on, all right, whatever, I'm good with it. But I read the email, I was like, Top Shot. So this is a very, I thought he was coming
You've never heard of this at all?
I literally thought he was talking about shooting, making shots
pop shot?
off of his roof, or like, so to say that I'm behind on what we're talking about. And I just pulled up the website that he talked about, NBA Top Shot. I'm watching it. So it, like you were mentioning these moments, like the one that's on the website, they're showing a bunch of, I don't know why, they're showing a bunch of Tyler Hero, and it says like rare. Yeah, it says rare. Right. So, but let me ask you this.
You said card, and it's not a card.
It's not a card, yeah. Let me. Yeah. I'm looking
Why
at
is it valuable when I can just Google the video of LeBron
Right.
shooting his look-away three?
Great question. Agreed.
Okay, so you get packs though, just like a normal trading card pack. But are these so you can get anything from LeBron throwing a windmill dunk to, I mean, can you get like Davis Bertans shooting a free throw, or like are they that bland some of the moments, or are they all like good players and cool things?
All right, wait a minute. Hold on. Let me stop you real quick. I want to ask when you say you open a pack, because I'm sitting here at 6:39 in the morning, and when you say you open a pack, Tim, I think you can relate to this. You're talking about a video clip, right?
Yeah, it shows like it looks like a pack when you get it, and then you click on it, and then it it's entertaining, I guess. And then it's you've got like your three blank, like it'll show three blank icons and click to reveal, and then you click on one, and then it exposes the moment. So there is kind of like a process, just like we would do traditionally opening a pack, but it is definitely dialed up.
Is there a fourth click to reveal? That's the piece of stale bubble gum that's in the back. Because that's what I want. That was the only reason. The stick. It's really fantasy, and I'm a sportscaster in South Carolina, Greenville, and I never bet on sports because I remember covering like Clemson, be like, oh, Charlie White versus Clemson, they're not sports. Like, I'm gonna, think Clemson would win by like 30. Like I was terrible at sports betting, but this, like, you can kind of bet on it. Just to give you like the craziness, so those three cards I told you, the Buddy Hield, the Jordan Clarkson, and the Cameron Payne. If I sold all three of them today, they would be worth about $600-700. And back to Patrick's question. There are just random moments in there. Like, I mean, how many? What?
There's an art team. There's an art team that decides like what is the best moment, and they try not to flood it. So, for example, LaMelo Ball has a really crappy moment, but it's his first game and it's his first assist that he ever had. So that's kind of an iconic moment. Even though the highlight isn't that great, there is a bit of that.
This thing is blowing our minds.
It's 6:42. I can't get my mind around this right now.
Do I just try to buy a pack, and do I just use like my debit card to do so? And then how do you sell it? Like, do I have to trade it with Bitcoin because it's blockchain? Like, I don't.
Yes, it was very confusing. Can you explain? I have no idea what I was looking at.
about it and how he's going to do what this guy, but really thought that Zion was paid $100,000 and he was that part of the millions of dollars.
Jason Harrell on the line from LA, blowing our minds. Jen, you've been shaking your head about as much as me during this entire thing. Do you have one question to add or a comment to add in all of this?
Can I get a loan?
It's a good one.
Yeah, they're all sold out. I just subscribed to the newsletter so I can find out when they offer new ones.
And I said exactly what Jen did. Can I get a loan? Because that is not happening in my world. It's an incredible story. No matter where this thing ends up, it's something to keep an eye on for sure. NBA Top Shot is what it's called, the website. If you want to go check it out like Patrick and you're all in, NBATopShot.com. And again, Jason not affiliated with this at all, just somebody on board early on and giving us the heads up on it. Appreciate the insight for sure. Last question from the text line. Are we talking real cash money? Ryan says. How do you answer that, Jason? It is something for sure. I just searched Top Shot NFP on YouTube, and the podcast pops right up. He's Jason Harrell giving us the heads up on the combination of old school basketball cards and new school cryptocurrency, along with the GIFs and the whole thing. Boggles my mind. Jay, thanks for the heads up here. Opening day, Gamecock baseball, plenty more to talk about. USC women's basketball, tough loss last night at Tennessee. It's the early game. We'll be right back here on 107.5 The Game. I just love seeing Jen's face throughout that entire thing.
We're going to discuss that more. That was a lot for 6:49 in the morning. That was a lot of information. Could be a little bit confusing. We'll have to get Tim's breakdown of that. Patrick's already into it. You don't want confusing sometimes. You just want simple, easy, straight to the point. Love Chevrolet in Harbison. That's what you get. 14 acres of brand new Chevys. Your largest selection of Chevys anywhere in the Midlands. The $1,000 low price guarantee. The incredible sales staff. It's straight to the point. You know exactly what you're getting when you go on the lot to make that next purchase. And now you're getting something even better. If you're looking for a pre-owned vehicle, they've got the largest selection of those as well over at Love Chevrolet, because the folks at Love Automotive have moved their massive pre-owned inventory over to Love Chevrolet. That's right. They're combining forces. Go visit Love Chevrolet, I-26 in Harbison between Lowe's and Frankie's Fun Park. You can check them out on the web, lovechevy.com. Again, 14 acres of brand new Chevys to choose from. You're going to find the car or truck you've been looking for. The $1,000 low price guarantee means you can look around at other dealerships, take their deal back to the folks who Love Chevrolet, and they'll top it. And, of course, the incredible sales staff, extremely knowledgeable, there to make you feel comfortable with your purchase. Don't wait around. Go visit Love Chevrolet this weekend, I-26 in Harbison between Lowe's and Frankie's Fun Park, or on the web, lovechevy.com. Get out to Love Chevrolet and find new roads.
Love making Bill uncomfortable by popping him up by himself there during those. Did you notice? It looked like you noticed the stream changing over there.
I can see it out of the corner of my eye. That was a lot. I got
No. It's the second time I heard it, and it's still a lot. Patrick, so you have already subscribed to the newsletter for real?
Yeah, I have an account. I'll buy it as soon as I can. I mean, if I can turn around and sell them and triple my money, even if that gets me like $75, that would be huge for me.
I hear you.
I don't understand that. That seems a little bit too easy to.
Well, I think it's hard to. I mean, it's hard to buy the packs. They're all sold out right now. So I mean, and people do have bots that just are assigned to go ahead and buy everything. Like I hear about that all the time now. I heard about it like when the PlayStations were getting released and they weren't making enough. People had bots that would just search the web and buy all the PlayStations as soon as they were made available, and then resell them. That's what people are probably doing here.
Thomas Farr is your answer there, Kevin. KT, Thomas Farr gets the ball for the Gamecocks. We do need a bit of a weather update. We'll let Bill handle that since he pretends to be a meteorologist.
What is it? It's raining outside.
Perfect. I know Kingston was talking yesterday, seemed pretty confident about it.
Just watching these lacrosse games, the weather is just miserable. All of the fields are just surrounded by snow.
Ugh. Was lacrosse fun to play in the rain at least, or not so much?
No, it's not good for your stick.
Gotcha.
You don't play lacrosse in the rain?
Yeah. Your mesh gets soggy, your stick gets baggy. It's not great.
Your mesh, huh? Is that the net part of it?
Yeah.
I need one of those. You know, I really kind of laying on the floor stretching. I need one of those foam rollers that you can get.
Cool.
Like $15.
We talked about this like a year ago. You still haven't
Yeah,
bought
I
one?
never bought one. I really need. I went and worked out again yesterday. I've been working out. I've started a new thing, which normally this would not matter, but in 2021 is what we're going through. I've gotten in the hot tub the last 2 days at the gym. I feel like I'm taking a wild risk getting in a hot tub at a gym. It's hot water, Jen. It boils. Nothing can survive in there.
First bitter USC women's hot take in on the text line from Richard. Unbelievable.
All right, we're gonna head back in, and we're going to the close our bed.
Gotcha. Feel free to just do that to delete that first rejoin or the second rejoin.
Should have heard my back just cracking as I was rolling around on the floor. I'm gonna do that in between top of the hour break. My leg.
About 45 seconds.
Maybe the most well-rounded sports talk radio hour in the history of sports talk radio. College baseball opening day, NFL trade talk, women's basketball upset for the Gamecocks at Tennessee, and NBA cryptocurrency gifts, cards, whatever NBA Top Shot is.
And
you guys go. And tennis. Don't forget tennis.
And I agree with Anonymous Raj. He didn't get my bubblegum joke.
Oh, he got it. It was hilarious. I thought it was pretty funny. Worth a chuckle.
He's still up. It's 4 a.m. He's still up.
He's selling those things.
Right.
Oh, wow.
Good point. We're still up here. We're just getting up. Hour number 2 coming up next. Oh, that was fun. Hold up.
Quick hour. Quickest I've been in one.
Yeah, it's different when you have a guest right there in the middle of it. We're not used to that in 6 for sure.
Definitely not the 6 o'clock hour. Much less, we always think it's tough to get guests in the 6 o'clock hour because it's too early. So what do? We get one from Los Angeles where it's even earlier.
I figure we'll go probably Europe or maybe Australia next week. You guys are good with that? I mean, Patrick, surely at 25 years old, you know someone in Australia right now who can weigh in on the Australian Open from the continent. With your immense social network, I'm sure you can make it happen.
Actually, I know people in my sister's roommates from college are in New Zealand.
See? Done. Give them a holler. Shoot them a text.
Yeah.
Tell them that we don't want to talk to them. We want them to hand their phone to someone who actually has an accent from there.
No, they're from New Zealand.
What's that?
They're both New Zealanders.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Get them in.
Yeah, both of her roommates are New Zealanders.
And I hear those are some interesting folks, let's say, New Zealanders.
Yeah, they're field hockey players, so I don't know. I would never be able to tell them apart from an Australian.
Me either.
They came to our house for Christmas and brought Vegemite. It was terrible. And they ate it every morning.
Did they do traditional Christmas too? In New Zealand?
I don't know.
You didn't ask? It never came up?
I'm sure my sister knows. I can ask her. I mean, she lived with them.
It's just rude.
I have no idea. I'd like to go to Australia, though. I also like to go to New Zealand. Maybe a Top Shot is what?
Chips all over it.
What?
Interesting.
What? Are we still talking Australia Open? Are we back to the Top Shot?
Yeah, back to the Top Shot. Chip just tried to buy Draymond Green, and it did not allow him.
Why?
Not available in your area, it says.
Oh.
That's not good.
Oh.
I mean, I have an account now.
I'm guessing Chip got one too, so try to buy something, Patrick.
I don't know how to buy anything. It says you can't. The packs are...
Maybe
That's
Chip
not-
can do it.
I could buy one
Outside the
dollar.
market. Chip, we need more details. Call us. Check the marketplace, he says.
I'm checking the marketplace. Filters, sort by lowest ask.
Sounds right. Lowest ask. Good way to go.
I can get a JaVale McGee card for $2.
Do it.
A JaVale McGee.
Actually, I'm gonna find somebody actually.
That sounds like
Killing
you
Graham
gave yourself back for $8.
I gotta get somebody young.
Yeah, but I think part of the reason I wanted to do that on the air is like I wanted other people's takes on this to hear where I am not quite understanding. You know what I mean? I'm like, anytime anybody tells me anything like that, I'm like, okay, so why is everybody not doing it? Then if it's that easy to make money, I'm not buying. All right, Patrick, talk us through what you're doing.
I'm gonna try and buy this Kelly Oubre card.
Yeah.
Okay,
buddy,
so
I am,
what's the process?
I am tight. I need to. Man, I am tight this morning.
All right, so I click on it. Whoa, what? I'm so confused. All right. Yo, it's screwing up. It says we're currently experiencing high demand and our site is still synchronizing with recent purchases.
Did we just break NBA Top Shot?
Yeah, we did.
Quite possibly. I think people are just bidding on this nonstop. I think I'm trying to. It says buy for $10. I don't want to buy for $10.
Well, that's why he's up at 3:30 in the morning. They're bids across the world.
Right.
I want to buy a pack, not one card for $10. But Darius Garland would be a good would be a good player to buy. I only want to buy rookies.
This should be the running commentary this morning. Your battle with NBA Top Shot and trying to buy something. Your quest.
They say $2. I will only buy it for $2. Oh, it's a spinning layup too. This is cool.
Agreed there, Waddy. Agreed.
All right, let's see. Buy for $10. Processing your order.
All right, Bill. We're going to work now.
No, it's just not going into Sports Flash. I needed to get rid of some spots.
Never mind, Bill. You got 2 more minutes.
You're welcome.
I'm right now the epitome of the Progressive insurance commercial where I sound like the old man sitting down, and the guy goes, "You hear that?"
No fussing. No cussing.
I died laughing at that the other day. My kids just looked at me and like, "What's wrong with you?" I was like, "That's funny." They know that I love those commercials.
It's the best series of commercials in a while.
He didn't ask for your help. Or no, that's the one he goes, "You don't know him."
Whatever. I'm gonna try and buy this Darius Garland card. Where's my wallet? Downstairs.
Wow. All right. This is
Going to the wallet. Chip, thanks for the heads up on that. If anybody else is trying to get in on the NBA Top Shot this morning, let us know how it's going. And we will call Jason back, wake him up, and demand an explanation if we need to.
This is the difference between 38 and 25. I'm over here buying coffee for wellness to improve health, and Patrick's buying Top Shot cards.
Don't forget a roller for your back.
Yeah, roller for my back. Yeah.
And I'm not doing any of that.
I'm not trying to walk into I'm not trying to be anywhere and be, Superman. I'm trying to just be in shape.
No, I'm not moving a lick, so you guys both have me beat at least.
Wonder if I can buy a PJ Dozier card.
Oh, Columbia connection.
Can't buy PJ Dozier. Can't buy Chris Silva.
You can't buy Chris Silva.
Darius.
Because they're not available? They didn't make it yet?
What is this?
Come on, give us the thought process here. What are you confused about?
What is it, 3 weeks from today we got the golf tournament?
Oh, rookie. $860 for Anthony Edwards card.
Yeah.
$227 for Obi Toppin.
All right, Bill, for real this time.
All right, well, just smack the driver on the ceiling.
Great intro to bring us into hour number 2 this morning, coming off of USC women's basketball. Tough loss last night. First time in 32 SEC games. The Gamecocks do not come out on top. Number 2, Carolina falling at number 21, Tennessee, 75-67. The Gamecocks up 16 early on, up double digits at half. And then Tennessee, Rihanna? No, it's not Rihanna, right? What was her name? Davis went nuts. Let me get her first name. Sorry about that. Renea, I think it might be how she pronounces it. 24 points, all in the second half. And Tennessee ends up winning this thing by 7. Certainly something I don't think Carolina saw coming there in the second half, but I say that's a perfect way to start talking about the analytics and the whole thing. Richard is not happy about it. Clearly a Gamecock fan, clearly a USC women's basketball fan, hits us up on the Cool Care Heating and Air text line. Still shocked the USC women don't get it. No, I start there. And Bill, this reminds me of a lot of the comments we've been getting about Frank Martin and the men's team. The frustration I understand. Going that far, I completely don't get Richard. The number 2 team in the country doesn't get it. Now it continues and say you have to play through Aaliyah Boston. I said this a few weeks ago. If Boston should have at least 20 shot attempts, they won't make the Final Four playing this way. Richard, take a breath. It was a tough game, tough second half, especially last night for the USC women's basketball team. And who knows what will end up happening, but you can rest assured they will make plenty of adjustments and win plenty more games down the stretch. A 31-game SEC win streak, I think they get it. You got to get, too, that the other team does some stuff out there to take away your best option. And I did see the Gamecocks trying to play through Aaliyah Boston and maybe a little too much in the second half. And that, I think, bogged down the offense a little bit. You got to give Tennessee a bunch of credit, man. They're one of the few teams in the country, Bill, that can match up with a talented team like Dawn Staley has and provide the same sort of athleticism. And, man, just thinking, we had the last hour we were talking about NBA Top Shot, and we're going to give you the update. Patrick is on the website right now trying to make a purchase, and Chip hit us up on the live stream saying he tried to as well, and it's not working, so we'll continue to do that. But that reminds me of just how much things have flipped, the balance of power in my lifetime, or just since I went to USC and got out in 2000, about how Tennessee women's basketball used to absolutely dominate. Then it was UConn taking over the country and dominating women's basketball, and certainly South Carolina has gotten in the mix, and you could argue has taken those teams' place in a lot of ways, certainly in the SEC for Tennessee, and this year hoping to do that again with UConn and maybe get a rematch with the Lady Huskies there. But a tough loss for the Gamecocks. Bill, how do you see this affecting the team as it moves towards the end of the season? I believe 3 games left now for the USC women before the SEC women's basketball tournament.
Well, there is a point that Richard's saying that I agree with, and it is learning what your strengths are. Like, this team is not built. Let me try to word this properly. They're really good. We know that they're a top 3 team in the country. When I say they're not built for the regular season, what I'm trying to say there is everything is designed around winning the national championship, and probably more so after last year, when they were going to be the favorite to win it and didn't get a chance to go and play in the NCAA tournament. So for me, a loss like this is the way to go back, reevaluate the film, and find your weaknesses so they don't get exposed when it matters most. I'm going to be positive here for a minute. This is a victory if it results in you learning about something that doesn't beat you in the NCAA tournament. Does that make sense? You guys on board with that? Like, if they take something away from this and they use it in the NCAA tournament and they end up, there's a weakness exposed last night, and you were able to get it fixed in the next 3 weeks before the NCAA tournament, then this is a meaningless game. That's where the women are. I mean, it's totally different than what we talked about the men the last few years, where you've got to win games to get into the NCAA tournament. Girls will be there. This has got to be a loss last night where you learn from it, and when you get to what is the meaningful part of the season, the NCAA tournament, that you don't get beat again in the same fashion.
It happened last year, right? It was Indiana, right? The third or something game of the season in one of those early season tournaments. I don't know if it was in Cancun or where it was. And then they just steamrolled everyone from there on out. So, I mean, UConn, you're not going to chalk that up as necessarily a learning experience. They're a great team, and you just maybe didn't play your best game, and it was in their gym. But, yeah, there's no reason to get all beat up about this unless you were just really, really invested in the winning streak. I mean, they're going to be okay. They'll learn. I mean, they've given you the benefit of the doubt that they'll be okay.
Big difference from this year and last year. You had the experienced point guard and Ty Harris kind of running the show, and it was Aaliyah Boston, the freshman phenom, on the scene there in the post. This year, obviously, Boston more experienced down low, and the guards with less experience. Bill, I think that's to your point. And as you were saying it, a coach can coach and preach to his or her team that you need to make sure we don't do this because other teams will take advantage of it. I think players learn a lot more when it actually happens, and we'll see what Carolina can take from it. Let's see what Richard has to say on the Love Chevy phone lines. I'm assuming it might be the same Richard that just hit us up on the Cool Care Heating and Air text line to talk about USC women's basketball. Let's get right out to 803-404-6100, and Richard joining us on the Love Chevy phone lines right now. Jen, can we pop up Richard on the show? Let's see. She's working intently, I see, off the scenes there. So I think she's ignoring this, Bill.
Cutting her NASCAR picks. She's given up on the show. She's doing.
She's back in. Let's see if we can get Richard on the line there. If he gave us a call on the Love Chevy phone lines. Jen, let's go to him now, please. Richard, what do you think about USC women's basketball? Oh, he's ready to go. Sorry, my fault, Jen. Gotcha. Richard, go ahead. Yes, sir. Did you just text us as well, Richard? Okay, different Richard. Okay, what do you think about last night? Gave up 50 points.
What should we do, Richard? What should we do? I am concerned also. What should we do? What should be done? I agree. Do you think they've got a chance to make the tournament? No, probably not. You're right.
Thank you, Richard. Bill, you're going to be okay. I think the week has taken its toll on you, Bill.
It's been a bad weather-wise. We all agree. It's just, is there cause for concern? Is this where we're at? I think, didn't we do this last year when they barely beat LSU by 16, 15? Maybe they didn't beat LSU by double digits.
Right.
Remember that?
Well, it depends on your definition of cause for concern, right? Obviously, you're concerned that what Richard brought up there. You get outscored by 24 points when you're up 16. Richard didn't point out, hey, Carolina got up by 16 on the road at Tennessee, and they had to make some plays to do it. And cause for concern might be overstepping, because if there is any program right now in the country that you think will figure out what happened and make some corrections, I think you would probably put Don Staley and company up there. There was a 31-game win streak there in the SEC for a reason. And if this happened maybe against a lesser talented team than Tennessee, I think there would be more cause for concern. But how do you define the cause for concern line there, Bill?
I don't. I'm being sarcastic. I look, it's one game. They lost to a good Connecticut team. Connecticut, there's nothing wrong with Connecticut. If Connecticut won the national championship, would any of us be shocked? No. All right. And then you lose to a ranked Tennessee team last night on the road. It happens. I understand what Richard's saying. You're up big. but it happens. It's not the most insane. You didn't blow a lead to, I don't know who's a really bad, I don't know who's really, really bad in women's basketball in the SEC, but I mean, like, I think Travis hits the nail on the head on the live stream. People are getting wound up over last night. I'm not, and then he goes on to say some other stuff, but I just want to focus on that one sentence. Yeah, people are getting, until I see something that really is a concern, like, it feels like we're complaining about the same thing year in, year out with women's basketball when they lose a game. Oh, they don't have shooters. They don't do this. They don't do that. And then they end up doing really well and end up making a Final Four. They would have won the national championship last year. Let's not get caught up in one game. It was a really bad, half of basketball. But we're going into the weekend, folks. The Suns,
Well,
I believe,
if you go the other way,
If they play like they did last night, they wouldn't
They won't win the national championship.
playing like they did last night.
it just
Thankfully, we're
shows
back.
you where the program is, shows you the expectations, and you can see that as a positive. Maybe that's how Ken sees it. We stay on the Love Chevy phone lines at 803-404-6100. Ken is up next. Hey, Ken. Greetings, Ken. We're doing well. Yourself? Thank you, Ken. Ron, Cool Care Heating and Air text line. Chill out. It's one loss. Women's basketball, the most successful sports program South Carolina has ever had. And fans should not trip out over one loss. Take a deep breath and chill. Similar sentiment. It is cold and wet. Don't forget that.
It is.
I like how. Go ahead, Bill.
I was gonna say, I'm trying to go back and find that text from the guy who, because it's not wrong, because it is an anomaly. The South Carolina getting to the Final Four when it's only happened once in your history. That's the definition of an anomaly. But I'm hoping he'll text back in and go, how long does Dawn keep getting to live on the anomaly of winning the national championship?
No, that's where Waddy goes full sarcastic text in here off the Facebook live feed. Fire Dawn. Got out coached again. How long does she get to live on a 4-week stretch of games a couple of years ago? Blah, blah, blah. Sounds like people wanting to fire Frank Moore. We appreciate. We endorse the full sarcastic tweets or texts in on the program. 803-404-6100 if you would like to join. John down in Murrells Inlet, or over in Murrells Inlet, I should probably say. Can you all preview the starting 8, pitching rotation, role players, etc. for South Carolina baseball this year? It is opening day. Another reason maybe to not be bitter this morning, to look at the positive in life. We'll do that and try to get you a weather update as well. Dayton, 3:45 airtime, 4 o'clock first pitch is the schedule for Gamecock baseball today as we start a season in 2021, a full college baseball season we're all hoping for. It's been a long year, people. Glad you're working it through with us here on the early game. It's 107.5. What do you got here, Jen? Am I supposed to do some? No, 7:40. Got some Bills got something here, maybe? Nope.
What's that song? The sun will come out tomorrow, something like that. It's going to come out. The sun's going to come out at some point. The weather's going to warm up at some point. I feel confident in saying that. And at that time, if you've got a pool in your backyard, you're going to want to use it. I promise. If you're like, you can just tell. People are grizzled. They're ready for the sun. They're ready for the summer. They're ready for the heat. They're ready to jump in their pool. But if you've got a dirty pool, you don't want to jump into it. You don't want your kids jumping into it. You don't want the neighbors. You don't want friends coming over. You don't want to have a pool party. You need to use an expert that maintains your pool. And I've got just the expert for you, Corley Pool Solutions. They will offer pool maintenance at a flat monthly rate. And how about this? I didn't know this until I started talking to Tracy Corley. He's been in the business for 20 plus years. The guy is the most knowledgeable expert that I've ever talked to regarding pool maintenance. He understands everything about it. He starts talking to me, my eyes just glaze over. I kind of zone out for a minute. He is the expert when it comes to maintaining a pool. And did you know that he will maintain your pool for cheaper than it costs for you to go to the pool store, buy the chemicals yourself, and figure out how to maintain your own pool? Use an expert. Let somebody else deal with the hassle, whether it's the testing of chemicals, adding proper chemicals for water balancing, the vacuum and netting, skimmer cleaning, filter backwashing, whatever it is. Tracy Corley and his team will make sure that you are taken care of. That's Corley Pool Solutions. Give them a phone call this morning, 803-445-8109. Again, that's 803-445-8109. You want to enjoy your pool and not worry about any surprises? You need to use an expert. That's Corley Pool Solutions. Give them a call today. Don't wait till the summer. They're going to be booked. Do not wait till the summer. Give them a call today. Start the process of maintaining your pool this weekend. 803-445-8109.
Oh, we got the traffic update. Nice.
Southwell Lane Boulevard and South Road.
Teddy D's got a good point. Maybe everybody's just chatty because we're giving stuff up for Lynn.
Saw that.
Patrick, how you holding out there on the first 2 days of
looking for high today of 51.
Good.
See a freeze
No meat today. First Friday.
50 and then we'll see.
What'd you say?
No meat today.
And sun
No
throughout
meat?
the weekend.
Cool.
Right now, sun scattered rain. 30.
What'd you go with on the? We did fish sticks on Ash Wednesday. What about you, Patrick?
I just had spaghetti.
Spaghetti?
Spaghetti, yeah.
No meat sauce?
Nope.
Oh boy.
That's the big save money meal for me. Just make a pot of spaghetti and eat it for a week straight.
Yeah, I used to do that and throw like frozen vegetables in there. It was a veggie spaghetti, only because I just didn't cook meat.
Yeah, I just have onions. But I have meat for the side so that when it's not a Friday or Ash Wednesday, I can put the meat in separately.
Attaboy. I agree with you, Mark. No sun. People are going nuts. I mean, imagine if we lived in a place that has crappy weather typically. I can't imagine going through a pandemic and living in like England or Seattle or something where it's typically rainy and cloudy and I hear you, KT.
I want a freaking Bradley Beal card, but they keep selling out.
Yeah, what's the latest? Come on, update us here. What's going down?
I'm not buying until I find a good card.
Wait, but have you attempted to buy one of these $2 cards yet?
No, because they make you buy them for 10.
Whew.
No, I'm not gonna buy a scrub for $10. I'm trying to find. I'd rather buy a Beal card for like 20. Then I'll have Bradley
Yeah,
Beal.
standards.
Yeah.
I hear you.
Or Rui
This'll need
Hachimura. I'll get a Rui Hachimura card.
Since we do have 3 breaks, so this next segment will need to be kind of brief.
Thank you. Thanks for cutting that podcast as well. I've already put it out on the old intranet.
Oh, one caller hung up Gamecock Larry.
So Johnny hung up. We just got Gamecock Larry.
Correct.
Got it.
We should try and make Gamecock Larry explain what Top Shot is in his words.
You know what? Right now, he's too occupied with the fact that he's getting a scooter license, so that's kind of taking priority. We'll hear about it. Coming for you.
Gamecock Larry probably remembers before when actual trading cards existed. Nonetheless,
It's very close. Very
No.
close.
That Honus Wagner card was like 1912, I think, the latest. 1909, the earliest.
Really?
wait, he's 85?
6, how dare you?
86?
86, sir. Keep up.
What was 86 years ago?
Math is hard, huh?
1945?
Does Tiger Bob, is it in here?
35.
35?
Yeah, I don't know how he got the Tiger thing, because it certainly seems like he's a Gamecock fan, huh?
Well,
Oh, I did see that, Craig. Genesis had an ace there. What, T.H. Kim? 7th hole ever on the PGA Tour? Did you watch much golf yesterday, Bill?
no, I went to the meeting with the AAA heating
And air?
Yeah. And by the time I got back, I went to the gym. I didn't get them. I want to watch more. I want to try and get to Raleigh early today. Sit down with my dad. Today's my dad's birthday. He's in Raleigh, so he won't hear it. But I guess
Oh. Awesome. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Fascinating discussion this morning. Gamecock fans not happy, as you would imagine, about a loss last night on Tennessee, breaking the school record 31-game SEC win streak. 75-67 the final score. Gamecocks were up 16 at one point. Tennessee has a player go off for 24 points in the second half, leading them to the 8-point win by my math, 75-67. First SEC loss this season, obviously. Third loss of the year, NC State and UConn, a couple of other top-ranked teams in the country, the other 2 losses. So we had a text in from Richard just saying that this team doesn't get it. And then we had a call in from another Richard talking about he's concerned being outscored by, I think, 24 points, right? When you're up 16 and you lose by 8, you get outscored by 24 points in the remainder. And a lot of you weighing in after that. Bitter Mac hits us up. This is simple. Fans are so apathetic about the men that they need to invest all their emotion into the women, and any one loss feels like 10 losses. Some solid psychoanalysis there from Bitter Mac. Bill hits us up. 3 losses in women's basketball equals 10 losses in men's basketball at least. Teddy D says, I gave up coffee creamer for Lent. I admit I'm crabby. Maybe others are experiencing the same. Deep breath, everybody. You'll be okay.
hang in there, Teddy. I've done. I think today. What do you think, Tim? I was trying to think back. Is today 3 or 4 weeks of technically the coffee for wellness? So I started no creamer on a Tuesday.
Oh, we remember that day like no other. I don't
So
care.
now you just don't have to go back. Now you
I would
just
say
are
it's
done. Now you're done.
Yeah, I know you're right. I feel
Flip the
good.
switch.
Yeah, hang in there, buddy. Hang in there. Once you get past a few days of it, it's all right. You do have to find
If
the
you
right.
actually get through Lent without coffee creamer, then you should never use coffee creamer again. Like you're good.
I'm kind of in agreement with you. I've made the switch to coffee creamer. I kind of want to. It's
Creamer's terrible for you, and coffee is good for you. So
It is.
cut
No,
out the creamer, and you can drink as much as you want.
I'm hot, buddy. I wish we were in the studio where I could high five you because that's the very true statement.
I drink a pot every morning, and I don't feel bad about it because there's no creamer.
The coffee.
Clinton.
It's so good.
We sound like Alabama football fans. This is awesome. He says, talking about USC women's basketball. Let's get one more opinion on this before we move on and turn the page to Gamecock baseball opening day today. So we got a lot to get to, and I would say that maybe the programs are both at that level, or certainly have been at that level, where Gamecock fans expect the absolute most from each program in Gamecock baseball and USC women's basketball. Our favorite 86-year-old caller on the Love Chevy phone lines now. Gamecock Larry, how you doing this morning, sir?
Doing all right. When I took the test for my MRI score, wait for the doctor to give me a report, they give me the thumbs up. Look out, Gamecock Nation, here I come. I tell you what, I sure hope the baseball team ready to be at least 2 games out of this series. Because they lose more than one, they'll be hollering for Mark Chester's head on the first series of the season. Gamecock Nation, what in the world is wrong with that? I don't get it, but what in the world is wrong with the Gamecock Nation? Every time somebody loses, they start talking about the team. Start talking about the coach. Oh, we're going, I don't know. I guess the better be quiet for us, so I show you thing, but it is aggravating. See, those people holler because they lost by 8 points, and it's just a head 16 for us. Can't win them all. And then the one side is pretty good. I believe the game got it. Go down 30, go down the count. Until 12 or 1 o'clock at night. I'm going to tell you something. When I get my motorized scooter out of I'm going to get a hold of it. Go Gamecock, buy a pocket steady. Gamecock Larry.
All right.
Gamecock Larry, ladies and gentlemen.
He's
Watch out.
gonna
He's
have like a baseball bat sticking out so he can just kind of like stiff arm with the baseball bat and just slide.
I'm gonna need to see like the gifs or the memes or whatever of him, and we need some inspirational music behind it when he's just on his scooter. You know, he's got a
Oh man.
little basket over front.
Yep.
Just going down some goggles.
all right, Jen. When we come back,
Cruising
I
around
need
the
to hear.
tailgate.
I need to hear the soundtrack to that. You got to put that to music when we come back.
Oh, I've got this. Can I make a suggestion,
You can make-
or do I have to wait?
Do that. That'll be a live video stream.
I'm needing Highway to the Danger Zone with Gamecock.
Oh, perfect. I like it. Make some other suggestions on the text line or live video stream. Maybe that'll be the rest of our bumper music this morning. The soundtrack to Gamecock Larry on a scooter.
Coming down
We'll
Three Rogers Boulevard.
We'll break down the Gamecock baseball lineup for you.
The Legion of the Doom.
Legion of the Doom, yes. Watch out.
The Legion of Doom. He called it the Legion
No.
of the Doom.
Yeah, much different. Breaking down Gamecock baseball. Opening day today, 4 o'clock first pitch. Weather pending. It's the early game here on 107.5 The Game.
Another love show.
Yes, sir.
All I can say is if Gamecock Larry is going to be on a motorized scooter, you better make sure that your vehicle works and that you can get away from him quickly. Quickly. Means you might want to go visit Love Chevrolet. Make sure that you've got a vehicle that works, that is trustworthy, new, pre-owned, doesn't matter. Love Chevrolet's got you taken care of. After moving the pre-owned store from Love Automotive over to Love Chevrolet in Harbison, if you go visit the one-stop shop that is Love Chevrolet, whether it's pre-owned or new, you're going to find the Love Chevy vehicle that you've been looking for. Tahoe, Suburban, Silverado, doesn't matter. You're going to find it. 14 acres of brand new Chevys, guarantees. You're going to find the make, the model, the color, the interior, everything you've been looking for in that new or pre-owned vehicle. Love Chevrolet's got it. You're going to get an incredible sales staff. They're going to make you feel comfortable with your purchase. You're going to feel great when you drive off the lot. And most importantly, you're going to realize your new or pre-owned vehicle, if you see Gamecock Larry coming up behind you on his scooter, on his motorized scooter, you're going to be able to get away from him. You're not going to have to deal with any blazing hot takes from him. So go visit Love Chevrolet, I-26 in Harbison between Lowe's and Frankie's Fun Park. Check out the incredible selection of vehicles, the $1,000 low price guarantee, and of course the incredible sales staff. You won't be disappointed. I-26 in Harbison between Lowe's and Frankie's Fun Park, or on the web, lovechevy.com. Get out to Love Chevrolet and find the road.
I think that image is fantastic with Gamecock Larry.
What's the I can't remember the other, maybe it's the general car insurance.
What about
general
it?
car insurance, where it's the old lady and she's driving, I think her son or somebody on the back of her motorized scooter. She
Right.
goes, we're coming in, she goes, hold on, we're coming in hot. Highway to the danger zone.
Wow. Who hit us up on that live stream there about John Whittle? Bill? Yeah, we try to give John a break in the morning. We have him on a bunch on this station, I feel like. Well done, Waddy. Yep, sleeping in.
They'll be on during the game.
Yeah, he is the expert for sure. All right, we got Johnny back on hold, Jen. I see that. We'll try to get to him there.
Colors has them making up to do from yesterday. Yep, Larry got us back on track.
Trying to see what else we got for Gamecock baseball here. So Patrick, what's the latest on the Top Shot?
Nothing right now. I just got my email notifications on, so as soon as they release a pack, I'm going to buy it.
Oh,
They'll probably release one while I'm asleep. That'll be my luck.
all right.
You talking about the gloves? Gamecock gloves. Oh, and somebody asked me earlier, no, they're not signed, the Gamecock gloves. I forgot to answer that. Ty asked me that. I don't know if he's still on the live stream.
Says it looks like bacon. Well, William, we all see what we want to see.
Yeah, no, the Gamecocks. I forgot. I got the hockey sticks, the little lightning hockey sticks somewhere around here.
Where is here, Steven?
Virginia.
He's in Virginia. He's in Virginia.
Attaboy. William, maybe it's time for breakfast your way.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't done a good job of fixing this area up, mainly because I really haven't been home. I've not been home.
So, Johnny is there on the line?
He is.
All right. Legion of the Doom! Watch out. That's pretty good, Jen. Well done. Danger Zone was Bill's request for the soundtrack of Gamecock Larry on his motorized scooter, taking out tailgaters left or right. Clemson Sean just texted in, says, there's a 25-mile-per-hour minimum on George Rogers Boulevard. Don't make me run Larry off the road.
What are the road speed is on that scooter?
That's a technical term. Road speed, huh? I'm sure it's whatever Gamecock Larry wants it to be. Root Hog's already texted in. He is scared. Tim in Chapin says that was a top 10 Gamecock Larry phone call. Dane, Gamecock Larry cruising through the tailgaters with the Wicked Witch of the West music playing behind him. That's how he saw it.
That's good.
Deep Purple's Highway Star, a suggestion from an anonymous texter as a possible soundtrack there. We got all kinds of mental images. Well done, Gamecock Larry. Jim just says, go Gamecock Larry. He's a big fan. As are we. And we understand if you're a little bit bummed this morning from the Gamecock perspective after Carolina, the SEC school record SEC win streak, 31 games in a row, comes to an end. We got it. We've heard some bitterness out there, heard some criticism, and then the sarcastic response on the other side. Let's get out to the left Chevy phone lines right now and hear a little bit more. Johnny would like to weigh in. Hey, Johnny. I don't think there is anything, certainly not from an SEC standpoint, I wouldn't think. I think that's a COVID-specific thing. Johnny, my question to you,
Well, other teams. Johnny, what do you think about Duke and Kentucky? But we're just talking about this year.
I think it's disingenuous to compare it to Duke and Kentucky when they're
No,
playing
we're talking about 1 year. We're talking about 1 year when we're talking about Johnny's talking about 1 year. Well, but that's but you would agree that you but you would
Okay,
agree
Johnny.
that this year
Don't go anywhere, John.
You would agree that this year's the anomaly to the last 6 years, right? They haven't had a losing. They haven't had. They have not had a. They haven't had a losing record the last 6 years. This is the anomaly. This is a bad year. Do you agree with that? Okay. And that's what I'm saying. This is the anomaly. I don't.
But he's talking about if you just go binary, success or failure.
He's not wrong when he talks about inconsistency. Like I was looking back the other day at something. Maybe I was just going through schedules of the last few years, and some of it, there was a loss to USC Upstate that I forgot about. Like I think at the beginning of March Senior. What he's saying, the inconsistency, I don't disagree with, but I think that's two different. Discussing this year and discussing the previous 8, I do think are two different things. If you want to tell me about inconsistency, I don't disagree with what Johnny's saying there because we've seen them lose to Stony Brook and Stetson, yet beat Kentucky and other teams to get to 18 and 13 last year. Was it Stony Brook last year? I know it was Stetson last year, but I understand, but I still think that that's two different arguments with it. And I think to an extent, to answer your question, Johnny, this is just my opinion, I don't think people are upset with this year. And I think this is where you're going. I think they're upset with the full body of work. But I don't, like, I do think that.
Okay, Bill, let me hop in here real quick. And Johnny, I'm interested in your thoughts on this. Because what I just heard is that your frustration from the entire 9 years outside of the obvious Final Four run, tenure of Frank Martin, has you holding him personally accountable for this year's team and not allowing any sort of explanation from the COVID issues to explain it or be a valid explanation for the lack of success this year. Is that where you're at? Because I think that's where Frank comes back and says that's not fair at all because every team, every person reacts different to the virus, and clearly this team had really, really struggled with it all the way around. We hear you, Johnny. Appreciate the phone call. I think the overall assessment is fair. The holding any kind of unique COVID circumstances against Frank Martin this year, I think that's where it crosses the line to unfair. 803-404-6100 if you would like to weigh in. Again, got to get this Gamecock baseball breakdown in for you. We need to take a quick break here. It's the early game here on 107.5 The Game.
What time are we doing, Carrie?
dreams coming true, always something good to talk about. A lot of times around my house these days, it's more of a nightmare situation, especially when it comes to cleaning up after 3 kids. One of them that's just kind of waddling around these days makes it especially difficult. Fortunately, we've had some professional help at our house helping to keep things clean. I'm talking about Zero Res Carpet and Air Duct Cleaning. Zero Res has come out to my house and done a great job a couple of times cleaning our carpets, cleaning the area rug for me in our living room, freshened up and cleaned the tiles in our kitchen and bathroom. Really impressed my wife with the results. Not easy to do around my house. Also, we had nothing to worry about when it comes to any kind of issues with our kids being on the floor soon after they were cleaned. No harsh chemicals involved in the patented cleaning process that uses powered water for Zero Res. None of that leftover soapy residue either. That's why our carpets have stayed cleaner longer. Yours can as well, and not just at your house. If you're in charge of a business, that commercial cleaning division from Zero Res working day and night, businesses all over the Midlands making sure everything is clean and sanitized for everyone's safety, following all the CDC guidelines in the process. And right now, when you mention me, Tim Hill, you get a great deal. 3 rooms of carpet clean for only $109. Book that Zero Res appointment right now online, ZeroResColumbia.com. Give them a call at 803-262-4020. It's Zero Res. Spell it backwards or forwards. It's the right way to clean.
Tim, what time is Terry's bar coming on with us?
8:40.
Okay. Good deal.
Patrick, you still got nothing over there?
I quit for the day.
You get it easily.
I'm not in a rush to spend money unless on just something dumb. I am very broke. I want to make sure it's good.
Good strategy.
Let's see what we got.
Outside.
Courtney, good morning, sir. Tim, that's pretty harsh. 6-week COVID has provided an excuse for everyone's having a bad season. Morning, kicker. Oh, that's Waddy to Courtney. Nice. I'll stay out of the way, you guys.
Did you see what Boeheim said yesterday about Jalen Johnson?
No, what did he say?
His quote was, I like this, let me see. Quote, that guy was hurting them, so they're actually much better now without him. He was just doing some things and keeping other people from playing that are good. They've had 2 monster wins since he opted out.
Who said that?
Wow.
Jim Boeheim. And he's not wrong. They did have 2 monster wins. And he was already losing. I think what people are calling him a quitter is because he was basically hemorrhaging playing time because he wasn't playing well and got benched the game before. And he's like, you know what, I'm done.
Opting out. I mean, stopping out.
Yeah.
What are you drinking? That's not coffee in there, is it?
Now I finished my coffee. This is just water and Mio.
Water and what?
Dio.
Mio?
What is that?
Mio is just a little
W.
bottle of flavor stuff. You just squeeze it into the...
Is that like tea flavored or something?
No, this is black cherry. Mio's just a little bottle that's that big, and it's just a water enhancer.
Gotcha.
You're not familiar with Mio?
No.
Living in a cave up there?
Very good.
Water enhancer is not in my vocabulary. It's water. I'm not going to enhance it. I'm going to drink it.
It's Mio
Gotta
Energy.
put in like some lemon juice or something.
It's water. It's like the coffee to me. Keep it plain, keep it simple.
The
This
flavor
is
of
Mio
water
Energy.
tastes different depending on from where it originates.
You know what? My water enhancer is beer. That's what water enhancer is to me.
Fair enough. Damn.
All right, heading
This
back.
will be our end hour bed.
Oh, wow. Yeah, it's in the other.
Somebody help Gamecock Larry get the governor off of that motorized scooter. That's the sentiment on the text line. And also, if there's a mechanic in the group, certainly please raise your hand if you can help Gamecock Larry out, taking care of the Legion of the Doom. We'll take it. Can you imagine? I can see this. Bill's all pumped up. Anytime Kenny Loggins comes on, he gets going.
30.
Maybe, Bill, maybe you or Patrick. Patrick, I know you dealt with the setup over there at Gamecock Park. Maybe this football season you can talk to the people running the speakers or the big screen there. Maybe you can get a GoPro on that Gamecock Larry motorized scooter.
That.
Get the audio going. Oh, I think everybody be pumped before the game. Let's see if we can get you pumped up, rolling it out. Number 3, Patrick's not excited about that idea at all.
I hate
They're
this
listening to the early game. It's 107.5 kid. Nice work on the audio, Jen. I bet that looked weird on the live stream, us bobbing our heads to the danger zone, but you can't hear it.
Yeah.
And I needed it up a little more. 8 o'clock hours. Our program's ready.
I heard 8 o'clock hour, Jen. I didn't get the end of that.
I said 8 o'clock hours. Program's ready.
Cool. And 8:40, right? We'll do the last segment there with Carrie.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Where are we racing this weekend, Bill? Convenient.
Just completely checked out there.
He definitely couldn't hear you because I could barely hear you, and I'm sitting right here. Whenever Tim's not muted, for some reason, Jen comes out very quiet.
Well, not many people say that about me.
Now we can hear.
Like literally for Valentine's Day, I got a can of starting fluid, and basically it was handwritten on there, Jennifer's starting crap fluid. Like,
It's clever. Top Gun Maverick comes out in July.
Oh, no.
probably will be good.
It just reminds me of the terrible sequel they did for Dumb and Dumber. I'm afraid it'll be just like that.
No, Top Gun Maverick will be good.
Hope so. Hoping at this stage of the game they don't recreate the beach scene, you know? The guys.
Well, no, they will create the beach scene, but it'll be with Goose's son, who's played by Miles Teller.
Oh, okay.
One of the top 5 worst scenes in cinematic history by far.
Really?
Which one?
Playing with the boys, beach volleyball.
The beach volleyball and Top Gun.
If you've ever played volleyball for more than half a second, you don't hit the volleyball with your fist.
Right.
It's doing in your jeans. Come on.
I wonder if Meg Ryan will be in this movie.
How old is Meg Ryan now?
Oh, that'll be depressing. She's got to be 60.
Yeah, she's 59. We watched When Harry Met Sally on Valentine's Day, and I just love Meg Ryan. She's just beautiful, and I was looking her up, and she looks pretty good these days.
She's still hanging out with John Mellencamp.
Did they go out?
Yeah, I thought they got pretty serious.
Yeah.
Why did you know instantly that she's 59, sir?
Me?
Creepy.
I just said we were watching When Harry Met Sally on Valentine's Day and looked it up.
Funny, he heard that. He didn't hear anything about NASCAR though.
She's not in her 60s. She's 59, Hope. Not quite. Almost in her 60s.
I'm thinking she might be forever 59, according to whatever you're looking up.
And I've also looked it up because I found out that Jack Quaid is starting to become a pretty big actor, and that's Meg Ryan's son with Dennis.
Okay.
Oh.
Dennis Quaid now is married to like a 24-year-old or something like that, though.
Well, that's about how old his face is now, so.
Be right back. Wow.
I like Dennis Quaid. Don't get me wrong. Just those commercials that he did recently, or maybe was it within the past year? It was like with phones or something, and it's like, ooh, no, just stop. Be natural. It's okay.
Yeah, there's a 39-year age gap between him and his new wife,
Who?
Dennis Quaid.
Nothing wrong with that.
She's the same age as his son.
That'd be weird.
Yeah.
Oh,
Where were
Hope
we
is
this weekend?
got her Tom Cruise poster up in her bedroom.
Oh, still a big.
Somebody's all over the Tom Cruise. Hope is all over the Tom Cruise information.
Yeah.
Courtney, just out of curiosity, why did y'all watch Top Gun last night? That's kind of random. Was it on television or was it on? I do feel like I saw it on the other night.
He said looked up what everybody looks like today. I mean, Tom Cruise still looks good. Val Kilmer and Kelly McGillis notably do not look good anymore.
Whoa.
Val Kilmer looks. I don't know what's happened to him.
I don't either. But there is a picture of Tom Cruise and Kelly McGillis next to each other and last year, and she didn't age as gracefully as Meg Ryan.
No.
Showtime. Was there a reason y'all watched it? Was just like is there a reason? Val Kilmer's battling cancer?
I did not know that.
Okay, then I'll take back anything I said.
Well, when did that happen?
This is from the New York Times last May. It says he's no longer. Cancer has taken his voice. Huh. Wow, I didn't know he had. I mean, I don't keep up with. Patrick, are y'all going to watch the Britney documentary this weekend?
Nah. I heard enough about it. I know everything that's in it at this point.
What is like? Somebody was telling me about this the other night, and then I looked at her Instagram page and the videos. What is going on with Britney Spears? I feel like Mike Patrick right now.
How much time do you have?
You would have just said Brittany.
Huh?
If you're really Mike Patrick, you just say Brittany.
Is that what it was?
How little do you know about?
That was still the funniest line. I don't know exactly where I was in LSU that night when Georgia and Alabama were playing. We were watching the game that night. And I was like, "What is he? Where did that come from?" Are we coming back?
Coming back. Oh, what a fun show this has been. I'm gonna try to get these dudes to talk some Gamecock baseball. I promise you guys. Let's see if we can do it.
All right, it's 10:40 this hour.
Thank you.
10:40. 10:40.
Sleep number 810. Guys, we're up.
Some good old country music bringing us into hour number 3. Here's been a good old show so far. It's been all over the map. That was mostly basketball, in hour number 2, right? Or kind of, I think, figuring out exactly why
Yeah, I mean, I what was kind of funny, we were talking to women's basketball, and Frank Martin just ended up catching the stray bullets there on that, as people wanted to just lump him in and say, well, basketball lost last night. Let's talk about men's basketball. I'm with you. I don't take too much away from last night. Dawn Staley in this program now is kind of like Ray Tanner and the baseball program, how I compared it back in when they were on their run. Regular season's great. You obviously need to have a good regular season, but you're defined by what you do in the postseason now. You're defined. Dawn Staley and her team will be defined by what they do in the NCAA tournament. And fair or unfair, she's built the expectation that if they don't get to the Final Four, I don't care if you win the SEC, I don't care if you have this great regular season. If you don't get to the Final Four, fair or unfair, it becomes a disappointing season. Now you can be happy with it. You can
It's exactly what you said, Bill, about the baseball program not getting the College World Series, a failure of a season, right?
Yeah, I'd never say failure. That, like, you know, if you win the SEC regular season championship or the tournament championship, there's certainly something there. I wouldn't have classified it as a failure, but it's definitely like extremely disappointing. You don't consider it a great season if you don't get to the Final Four. It's just the expectation. They're one of the 3 best programs in the country, hands down. Maybe the 2 best. I mean, they're right up there. So with all that being said, last night, yeah, don't lose the game. I get it, you know. And the strange part, like you said, Tennessee didn't really have time to practice, prepare, and it looked that way early on, right? South Carolina comes out and gets the big lead, and maybe South Carolina slacked up. I mean, I know it's different, but sometimes you get those huge leads and you don't keep your foot on the gas. I still remember the 2005 Independence Bowl against Missouri. South Carolina gets the huge lead. Looks like they're just going to run all over Missouri. Blake Mitchell's throwing it all over the yard. Sidney Rice is having a big day. They get up 28-7, and then the wheels absolutely come off and they lose to Brad Smith and Missouri. You've seen stuff like that. I mean, think about the one of the greatest games in South Carolina basketball history, the win over Cincinnati at Frank McGuire Arena, where they're down. What were they down? 23. And they storm back to win on the Antonio Grant three-pointer. Yeah, these things happen. They happen. If it continuously happens, then you become concerned.
And certainly no track record there. This is just the 3rd loss for Carolina this season. The other 2 to more top-ranked teams. Tennessee went into last night 21 in the country. UConn and NC State, the other 2 losses on the South Carolina resume. That is still in line for a number 1 seed in the NCAA tournament. Still very much in line to win yet another SEC championship. So just to be very clear, earlier when I said if you don't go to the Final Four, it's kind of what you were talking about, the comparison to the College World Series. So that's the fan expectation. You get a pass-fail kind of grade. And if you make it to the College World Series back in the day when you're Ray Tanner, you got the program going, you pass. If you don't, you fail. And I think it's the same thing with that Final Four. Clearly, massive expectations from the outside, but in a roundabout way, it's a compliment from the fan base. Clinton hit us up earlier on the text line, said, we sound like Alabama football fans. This is awesome. That's what it is with USC women's basketball, and that's just where the program has gotten to. That's where I think it is unfair or unrealistic is probably the right way to put it from the men's side of things. And Carolina will host Missouri tomorrow at the Colonial Life Arena. A Missouri team coming off a 10-point loss to Georgia, the same Georgia team that Carolina blew out in a head-scratching kind of way this year, talking about men's basketball. But that's where the conversation is very tricky, I think, on the men's side of things. Because Johnny hit us up in the last hour and was talking about inconsistencies within Gamecock men's basketball. Another texter hit us up at some point and said, a pattern of inconsistency, is that fair? I think you could argue it's been a pretty consistent program, especially from an SEC standpoint, winning a bunch of games. The issue is, Bill, and I wanted to get you guys' take on the poll question Pearson Fowler threw up yesterday. Did you guys see that? In an 8-year span, yes or no? What would you rather have, right? 1 NCAA tournament appearance that resulted in a Final Four run, or 4 NCAA appearances and no tournament wins? I mention this simply because of the run Frank Martin has had here in his 9th year is going to result in yet another, not an NCAA tournament appearance. And yet still, Bill, it's the most successful run we've seen in Gamecock men's basketball since Frank McGuire, but it's only resulted in that one tournament appearance. I think that's where you get these complete polar opposite takes to a large extent from Gamecock fans, in that, hey, this thing needs to change real quickly and this is unacceptable. And the other side say, no, this is a really good coach and very highly concerned about those calling for a change and what could happen if that happens. Because I think a lot of people saw this happen once Dave Odom left and Darren Horn took over, and you weren't satisfied with the program under Dave Odom, and then it got much, much worse with Darren Horn.
What are you asking me? Are you asking about the poll question, or you kind of jumped around on me there? What do you want me to answer there for you? You want the poll question? You want the four appearances, 0 wins, the 1 appearance, 4 wins?
Bill's choice. Just spin the wheel wherever you want to go with that.
Look, it's perfectly acceptable. To answer the Pearson question, I want the 1 appearance and 4 wins. From a South Carolina standpoint, I don't think you'll ever see that again. You'll see more tournament appearances at some point.
But no one ever thought you would see it when it happened.
Right. It's honestly, let's see, if you had to rank magical moments in South Carolina history, magical moments, I would have 3. Okay, I would have 3 big ones. Number one would be South Carolina winning a national baseball championship, beating UCLA. Just winning a national championship in a major sport. That was really cool. Calling my dad, talking to buddies, like sitting there that night. That's number 1. Number 1 in my lifetime. I'm speaking to my lifetime. I can't speak people who are a little bit older. That's number 1. Number 2 is the Final Four run. I mean, that's number 2. Like the beating Marquette in the opening game. I was like, man, South Carolina won an NCAA tournament game. I've never seen that in my lifetime. There's people that were 40 years old that had never seen South Carolina win an NCAA tournament game when that happened. Like when they beat Marquette on, I believe that was Friday night. Yeah, Friday night they beat Marquette. I was like, I remember it was a late game. You're watching it, and you're like, my goodness, I've never seen South Carolina play on the weekend in an NCAA tournament. That's incredible. And then they beat Duke. Of all teams, Duke, a team you have a history with from the ACC. Duke was big and bad with Jason Tatum and Grayson Allen, and I forget who else they had in that particular team. But big, bad Duke, and you beat them. And you don't just beat them. You blow them out of the water in the second half. Absolutely blow them out of the water. You're like, oh, man, that's magical. That's something else. All right, don't expect them to get any further. Then you go play Baylor on a Friday night in Madison Square Garden in the Sweet 16. You win that one handily. It was such a magical one. Beat Florida. I remember sitting there taking pictures. You pause the TV. I got the TV on. I'm pausing the television. I'm taking pictures with my dad and the kids in front of the TV. It says South Carolina going to the Final Four. That's a magical moment. And number three would be South Carolina beating Florida to go to the SEC championship, because we'd never seen it. Obviously, the championship game didn't play out well. But if you had to rank 3 months, so my point is, I would take the 4 wins in the 1 appearance, because for South Carolina basketball history, that's something it's incredible. But it's perfectly okay. This is where I get a little upset with that one texter who texted in and says it's an anomaly. Yes, it's an anomaly. It's never happened before. South Carolina doesn't win 2 games in the NCAA tournament, let alone 4. And you can accept that. You can say it's the greatest thing to ever happen for South Carolina basketball. And you can also acknowledge that, hey, I want better results. I want to go back to the NCAA tournament and see if we can do it again. And I think that's where South Carolina fans are at. I think a lot of South Carolina fans acknowledge that this is a really good run of South Carolina basketball. But at the same time, you want more, and I get that.
Texter goes too far, though. Anonymous texter just hits us up with the facilities and funds at their disposal. There's no excuse why South Carolina men's basketball should not be a perennial top 25 program. That's from Patrick. That excuse, that expectation, I think, is just doesn't mesh with reality. There are a lot of programs. How many programs out there put the money into their facilities and their basketball program to be a perennial top 25 team? It's at least 60, right? maybe more than that. Maybe we're like 75. I don't know. It's a bunch, and the track record. I just think that one's a little too hard. Now, like we were talking about earlier in the week, Bill, you go back to Eddie Fogler's old comment, like 2 out of 4 years make the NCAA tournament. Absolutely, I think realistic, and maybe so that would be a top 25 team at least 2 out of 4 years. I'd say that's much more realistic. That's just me. I'm wondering what you guys are thinking. 803-404-6100. We see you lined up on the Love Chevy phone lines. I'm guessing Leslie might put the USC Women's Basketball National Championship in her top 3 moments of all time if you're talking about Gamecock athletics. Leslie joining us now on the Love Chevy phone lines. Hey, Leslie. Sorry, I didn't say you weren't. Maybe I said her. My fault, Leslie. Gamecock Leslie, as he was talking about the motorized scooter, do you guys get the sidecar in Gamecock Larry's motorized scooter? Do they do that with motorized scooters? Can you have a sidecar?
I want to go back to Patrick's. Was that an eye roll or
No,
like?
I was falling asleep.
That's why you got to get off that water in Neo. You got to get back to your pot of coffee that we were discussing earlier. Did you already have your pot of coffee?
Long way to go to reach Gamecock Larry status.
Oh, he didn't say he was a Gamecock Larry status. He was just saying he's right there with him. He's going to help Gamecock Larry if he needs any help going after non-Gamecock fans. Leslie, appreciate the phone call. We hear you. Matt's up next on the Love Chevy phone lines this morning. Hey, Matt. Doing good, you? I haven't seen any. Matt will work on that for you as we move on here in hour number 3. It was an interesting game in a lot of ways.
No, we won't. Don't tell him we'll work on that. We know. What are we going to do? We're going to text Dawn Staley right now and say, hey, what?
Why'd Bria Bill sit on the?
Why
What
can't
are we gonna? We're not gonna work on that. We're gonna talk some baseball.
I will work on that. Let me rephrase.
We're not gonna work
I
on
will
that.
work on that for you, Matt. These guys will continue to bicker back and forth. Patrick's still bitter that he's not breaking down the big Carson Wentz trade to the Colts more. I'll work on it right now for you, Matt, while we go to a break.
We agree with you. There's no answer. We don't have the answer. We're not working on it. Carson Wentz, Gamecock baseball, and Kerry Tharp coming up this hour.
Should I turn his mic off now or wait a little bit?
I said Kerry Tharp.
You're-
I know you.
Your call, Jeff. It's the early game here. It's 107.5.
No, you know what? We got a lot to discuss, a lot of energy. I have a lot of energy because I got a great night of sleep. Of course, I needed to have a great dream about who's going to win the NASCAR race this weekend, the Daytona Road Race. It came to me last night. Sleep number bed, put the sleep number setting on 60. Had a great dream, had a vision. I know who's going to win this race this weekend. I have the upper hand in the picks contest. I'm already winning, by the way. I have the upper hand because of my sleep number bed. If you want to have the upper hand each and every day as well because you have a great night of sleep, you need to make the switch to Sleep Number. You can do that this week and discover the Sleep Number 360 smart bed for proven quality sleep. There's a weekend special going on. Save 50% on a limited edition smart bed plus special financing and free premium delivery when you add a base. Subject to credit approval, minimum monthly payments required. See sleepnumber.com for details. But this ends Monday. That's right. It ends Monday. So right now, get over to a Sleep Number store. 2 to choose from. 1 in Irmo on Harbison Boulevard across from Buffalo Wild Wings. The other in Columbia, 2 Notch Road across from Sand Hills Mall. You can visit them on the web, sleepnumber.com. Again, discover the Sleep Number 360 smart bed for proven quality sleep. It's the weekend special. Save 50% on a limited edition smart bed, special financing, and free premium delivery when you add a base. Be like me. Have a leg up in your NASCAR picks contest because you get a great night of sleep with a Sleep Number bed. Jen doesn't have one. That's why she's always losing the contest. She doesn't have a Sleep Number bed. Need to get her one. Make the switch to Sleep Number today and find out what a great night's sleep is truly like. Did we order a piece? Is that what we did to start plugging in the audio onto the phone calls and everything? Is that what y'all were telling me?
Yep, that's the plan there. And by we, that's our engineer's deal. So I will inquire again on the status there. It's not exactly his priority list.
It is en route. Okay.
Perfect. Let's see what we got here.
Impact Leslie, not well received by the listeners.
Was it Wesley or Leslie? Do you guys know?
Leslie.
It was Leslie?
I think it was Leslie. It got off to an incredible start. And somehow that still wasn't the bottom point of the phone call.
I was thinking about starting to snore.
Actually, you know
I
what?
couldn't figure out if he was doing a parody, like if he was being funny, or if he was being serious.
All right, I got it. Bria Beal foul. 5:50 left in the third quarter. How about that?
Foul?
She picked up a foul, and she had 2 personal fouls. Yep, that makes sense. Tried to figure it out. Did my best.
Yeah.
That was for Matt, right? That was for Matt.
That was for Matt. Yeah.
So Trey, the answer is
I have not been paying attention to this stuff in Texas, but this sounds insane.
the ice.
Well, I guess the power grid failure.
Yep, for sure.
Did y'all see the Gus Malzahn tweet yesterday? And people got all outraged about it.
Nope. What was it? You want to tell us about it on the show?
I'll tell you about it if you want to bring it up. There's other things to talk about. All he did was he had a picture of himself like standing on the campus, and it just said 82 degrees and sunny here in Orlando. It's something like, come join me. And people were like, oh my God, how can you put something up like that in a time and area of our country where people are, struggling and have no power?
You got the wrong people on your Twitter timeline.
Well, no, I looked at not my timeline. Like, if you looked at his tweet and looked at all the comments below it.
People are idiots.
Yeah, they are.
That was just good recruiting.
Baron, let's talk about golf.
Oh, Riviera, yeah.
I think that's
Jen, you can tell him we're not going to take that call about golf today.
okay.
Sunny and 82, just saying. And it's a picture of him. Yeah,
people are idiots. His job is to recruit. He's doing his job.
Like the very first one is, I'm a lifelong Auburn fan. I think this is asinine to tweet while people are suffering.
When are people not suffering?
Maybe here's
Exactly.
another one. Maybe all of y'all here attacking Gus Malzahn need to be attacking your senator, Ted Cruz, who's enjoying the warmth of Cancun while you're struggling to even survive right now.
Well, he's not.
I mean, it just spirals completely out of control on this. Oh, I'll go back and read it again.
I want to see like Division III coaches just tweeting in response to every facility's post, just saying this is disgusting. Not everyone's so fortunate to have such beautiful facilities. Like, you need to stop. And
D3 coaches do that?
no, I'm saying they should.
Oh,
This guy, read the room, you inconsiderate bastards. I mean, just like, it just got like, I saw it yesterday.
he's not in here. He's hanging out in his house in the sunroom, probably.
Huh?
What room is he talking about? There's no room in social media.
That's what I'm saying. I saw it pop up on, I saw like an article about it, so I went and looked at the comments and you're just like, geez, people are cranky, man.
No doubt.
That's hilarious. You should respond to each one of them with another picture of him on the beach.
Huh?
You should just respond to each one with a selfie of him on the beach.
Yeah, I'd completely double down. That would probably be taking it too far. All right, Jen, so we need to get out a little bit before 8:40, right? And that'll be our last break before the end of the show?
Yes, sir.
All right.
2 L's, Craig, 2 in Bill.
Yeah, 2 L's in Bill, 1 L in Will. Everybody knows
I
that.
like it. It's cooler. It's more hip, modern.
Yes, sir.
Just picture it. You're enjoying a nice Gamecock football tailgate. A garnet and black blur just went by. And that's Gamecock Larry.
It's not a blur. It's like the,
A whir?
like, hey, here he's coming. 3 minutes later, he's still on the way.
Oh, we got that fixed. I'm going to take that governor off for Gamecock Larry on his motorized scooter. If you missed the early part of the show, you might be a little confused. It's understandable.
Beating up on the Legion of the Doom.
I was just doing a bunch of research here in the break there for you, Matt. Bria Beal gets a foul with 5:50 left in the third quarter. That's when she gets taken out. That's when you were really mad. I thought it might be for foul trouble, but she only had 2 fouls on the game, so it wasn't foul trouble. I'm guessing it was just a rotation thing, or possibly Dawn Staley might not have been pleased with her best defender and taking her out because she wasn't doing what she wanted her to do. I don't have an explanation for you. Don't worry, I'll continue to research it for you and maybe have an answer for you next week. Let's switch gears, shall we? I know a lot of you are upset. 75-67, the final score last night. Tennessee ended the school record 31-game win streak for USC women's basketball. I think they're gonna be okay. It's what we're coming to this morning. Gamecock baseball starts. A lot of you excited about opening day today, as always in Columbia, and maybe more so this year than near any other, Bill, with the environment around Gamecock athletics in general, with one of the more frustrating basketball seasons on the men's side, certainly one of the more frustrating football seasons, going 10-8 and resulting in a head coaching change, and now with a lot of things lining up for Mark Kingston going into year number 4, I guess 3.5. I don't know how you do last year, but he's been in the program for a while and certainly seems to have a bunch of talent. And start for those of you out there that are maybe a little unfamiliar, we got a request for this earlier about the breakdown of what the Gamecocks have. So Thomas Farr gets the start tonight. He was in the weekend rotation last year. Basically has moved up a day. I think he was a Saturday guy. Brandon Jordan was the Sunday guy last year. He's moving up to Saturday. And then you got Julian Bosnick taking the mound on Sundays in the opening weekend series against Dayton here. So you're going lefty and Farr, righty and Jordan, going back lefty with Bosnick. And we had Skylar Mead on 10 days ago, I think, and he was talking about just all the potential that this pitching staff has, some young arms that will certainly contribute down the stretch. Not even mentioning Brett Carey, who's been their most proven pitcher here in the last several years. They can use him all over the place, and Skylar Mead says it helps make his job easy. You can start him, you can go long relief, short relief. We got a lot of options from the pitching staff standpoint. I think it'll be offensively what a lot of fans will kind of hold their hat on as well. Got a guy like Wes Clark. I saw he was preseason All-American the other day, preseason All-SEC guy. I find it interesting that he's moving from first base, which is where he played mostly last year, because a guy had in fall and here in the spring has kind of solidified himself. David Mendham, a new player in the Gamecock program, has solidified himself at first base. I feel like if he becomes a legit guy that they're planning on him becoming, a middle of the order lefty power guy, then that's going to make this team really dangerous. And Gamecock fans really excited early on in this season, which is a ridiculously tough schedule with Texas added to the mix and right before SEC play starts, and the SEC being what it always is. I think, Bill, you pointed out the other day, maybe 5-6 teams ahead of Carolina in these preseason rankings, where the Gamecocks are 17-18 in the country, and yet there's so many SEC teams right in front of them. Carolina picked to finish 4th this year in just the SEC East.
You know, I think with this team, it's really intriguing, because when you only saw them for 16 games last year, I don't know if we developed the identity of that team. And I'll be honest, if I go back to last February and March, I know there's a lot of people out there who are massive Gamecock baseball fans, so they don't fall into the category that I'm about to say. When you had the overlap of what the women were doing, what the women were doing in basketball, the men were trying to get to the NCAA tournament. You know, there was a lot of angst and anger about that team as they were kind of struggling down the stretch. I don't know how much attention was paid to baseball. And so I say that because I'm looking at this roster and some of the names in the roster. I'm like, I don't know I don't know a lot of these guys. You mentioned Farr pitching this afternoon. Obviously, a guy that's pitched some for the Gamecocks. I don't think, I'd have to go back and look at the stats. For some reason, I'm thinking that none of these guys have thrown more than 20 innings in their career. Is that right? Am I right on that?
Outside of Brett Carey, I think you might be right. None of the starters you're talking about?
I meant the 3 starters. The weekend rotation guy, the starters, yeah, Brett Carey. But you got him, Wes Clark, certainly. I was reading the preview on him. I know that he was amongst the nation leaders in home runs hit through 16 games last year. It's just when you only saw the small sample size of the baseball team, we didn't get a grasp of who they were. And the stars on this team are the rising stars of this team. So, you know, you've got a guy, I think today, I know they haven't put out a lineup. I think Wes Clark is expected to be either the catcher or designated hitter today. The first baseman, according to, again, what John Whittle, I was reading some stuff on this last night and Wednesday night. David Mendham, I believe, is expected to be the first baseman. I know center field or you talk about the outfield in general. Center field's interesting to me because of the freshman that came in, Brandon Fields, who is the 2-sport star. Running back and baseball player, supposed to be a really good baseball player, but it sounds like he's been beaten out by Braylon Wimmer and then you got Noah Myers back there as well. But I guess to my point, like Tim, I don't know. I guess again, the diehards I know on the live stream hope, and a lot of people have been very excited about the baseball team, and they're fired up today. But I don't know what kind of feel you really have, or what kind of knowledge you have of this baseball team, given that I feel like you haven't seen them for 2 years. You only saw them for 16 games last year.
But that's college baseball in general. And Skylar Meade said his biggest recruiting job was to get his first 2 starters back, in Farr and Jordan, who got drafted and could have gone on to professional baseball, or even if they didn't get drafted, certainly could have pursued that opportunity. So you got experience back there, and you got your top 2 hitters back from last year in the corner outfield spots, Brady Allen and Andrew Eister. And we talked with Carolina hitting coach Stuart Lake. He seems to be pretty pumped about both of those guys. So you got plenty of experience there in both the outfield, and then you go back to the infield. You got a guy, Brendan Malone, there, expected to start at third base, who was really talented going into his true freshman season last year and got injured, didn't get it going, but now back and ready to go there. And at shortstop, you got plenty of experience returning at George Khalil, but he might not even get the start. I think that's been a battle this offseason with another new player to the program, Michael Thompson. And what they'll end up doing there at second base, Jeff Heinrich might be in that spot, who played third base instead of Malone for most of last season. So plenty of options all the way around. Colin Burgess, the other catcher involved, along with Wes Clark behind the plate. And when we talked to Stuart Lake again, he mentioned 11, 12 guys he thinks are legit hitters that Mark Kingston will have to choose from to make out his lineup today and throughout the weekend. I think you're going to see some different lineups, especially the first few weeks here as this team gets its own identity. But Bill, you're talking about the identity of this Carolina baseball team. I think all college baseball programs are dealing with this because of what happened last year, having the year kind of blown up about a quarter of the way in. And I think the big-time programs like Carolina that always have really talented players and deep rosters will be able to probably figure out who they are, I would think, a little quicker than some of these other programs that if you lose guys to professional baseball, you don't get some guys back in your program, it takes a little longer to plug and play instead of just reload like the Gamecocks should do this year. It seems like they're certainly set to do on paper in both the batting lineup and on the mound. That's how I read this thing.
Yeah, and you know, Patrick, I know for you it's Patrick, how do you see Carolina baseball? Because you weren't here for the mega years, the dynasty years. How do you view Carolina baseball having come in to South Carolina, what you said, 2015? That's when so how do you see Carolina baseball?
Well, I mean, hearing about the national championships was something I heard very early on. So, and when you see the stadium and you know it's as good as this facility as anywhere in the country, and you look at the recruiting classes, I mean, I just look at Carolina baseball as good as any team in the country and should expect to go to Omaha every year. But the SEC is just outrageous, and anybody can win any series on any given weekend. And in a good year, South Carolina will make the NCAA tournament and go to Omaha and compete for a national title. And in a bad year, you can get beat out, and anything can happen. The SEC is just outrageously good.
No doubt about it. And Gamecock fans expecting Gamecock baseball to kind of be their saving grace. That's exactly what Alan says on the live stream. Carolina baseball better be the saving grace for the men's programs. I think that's where a lot of Carolina fans are hoping today will lead them to the saving grace of this calendar year, the school year, I guess I should say, the 2021 school year that has been disappointing for sure. We're going to switch gears, go to our buddy, Darlington Raceway President, former USC Sports Information Director, Kerry Tharp. We got some picks coming up in the next segment. The last one of the week. An interesting week it has been for sure. You're listening to the early game here on 107.5 The Game.
In soccer.
Speaking of homes, my home might change here in the next few weeks. I got the 8-year-old, soon to be 6-year-old playing baseball. They start tomorrow with the evaluations. That'll bring a different level of messiness around my house, I'm sure. Got to make sure the cleats get off before they get upstairs, no doubt about that. But I will encourage them to be getting messy on the field. That's what good baseball players do. You don't want that around your house, though. We certainly have it around ours. Throw in the not quite 1-year-old, and it's always a mess. Fortunately, we have some help, professional help. We need it in more than one ways, but we get professional help with our floors, our carpets with Zerorez carpet and air duct cleaning. They've been out to our house a couple of times, done a great job cleaning the carpets, an area rug for me, also freshened up the kitchen tile and bathroom tile. Impressed my wife with the results. Not easy to do, and they do it differently than anybody else because there's no harsh chemicals involved in their patented powered water process. Also, no leftover soapy residue. That's why my carpets stay cleaner longer. Yours can as well, and not just at your home, but at your business too. The commercial cleaning division of Zerorez, working day and night, businesses all over the Midlands, following all the CDC guidelines, making sure all areas clean and sanitized for everyone's safety. And right now, they got a great deal for you as well. 3 rooms of carpet clean for only $109 when you mention me, Tim Hill. Check them out online. You can book your appointment today. ZerorezColumbia.com. Give them a call at 803-262-4020. It's Zerorez. Spelled backwards or forwards. It's the right way to clean. Oh boy, KT. Sandstorm would be a good soundtrack to the motorized scooter. Oh, Patrick's on the downslide. You falling asleep on us over there?
No, I'm trying to make sense for tomorrow.
Oh boy. Well, yeah, we need to talk about what kind of help you think you might need in the studio.
I don't need help.
Sure. We got baseball and basketball at the same time tomorrow. What a guy.
I'm just trying to figure out where to get sake tomorrow. I want to go to a sushi place and drink sake tomorrow night. That's the plan, but I don't know where.
Raphael, I think I might have seen him on a live stream earlier, keeps telling us that USC soccer is 2-0.
I don't think that's right. I thought they lost to Elon or somebody the other night.
Nope, they beat Winthrop and USC Upstate.
Is that a scrimmage then?
Might have been a scrimmage.
Oh.
Might have been the women. This is the men's soccer team I'm talking about.
I thought the women were really good though. Men, not so much. Let's see. I don't understand how soccer has 2 seasons.
It usually doesn't. I think this year's the anomaly.
I'm sorry, they didn't lose to Elon. They lost in the exhibition to Lander. So I knew I saw something. But
There you go, Raphael. Attaboy. He's all on it now.
exhibition to Lander.
I don't even know. What is that emoji he's got there?
That's the eye roll.
It's clapping? That's clapping? Yep, let's see.
Wait, where are we at here? Oh, there we go. I hope, what do you mean it was not a scrimmage? What are we doing here? What's going on?
You guys confused.
The Gamecocks online schedule tells me that the men lost to Lander in an exhibition game, 1-0. 1-0, I think is the proper way to say it.
Well done.
How many syllables was Neil?
Huh?
I said, how many syllables was Neil?
I don't know. No, I'm not British. I'm not sure I even said it correctly. What is this guy?
keep up with what's going on right now.
Where
Just in all the chats, the soccer talk.
I know. I actually read a text message when Tim was doing the zero res that Raphael sent about it, and I went to respond. So I started talking on the live stream.
No problem, Hope. No problem. This is summing up the end of a difficult week, even though it's only 4 days, 4 shifts.
Yeah.
I will try to remember next year, the first full week after the Super Bowl, I will prepare for the most bitter responses ever, and then maybe next year we'll be in a better place as a country and people.
I gotta admit, us taking the day off, it throws off my schedule so much because we're done at 9 a.m.
Yeah, I hear you.
So, what are our chances of this game playing tonight? Like 90%?
Yeah, I think so. I think they're pretty good.
Yeah, this weather's moving out. I'm actually looking out. The weather's moving out. I think. Yep. I don't see any rain. They've had the tarp on the field. I understand Tommy Moody was giving weather reports yesterday and telling people how to dress appropriately for the game tonight.
Absolutely, I'm going to be there, Craig. Got to figure out what hole on Windermere to sit on. Bill, what do you think? Should I do it on 18, on the 18 green, and just heckle people as they come in right there at the clubhouse?
No, that's too far away. It's got to be kind of
too far away. Right there at the clubhouse, the 18 green's too far away.
I feel like I could be wrong. I felt like the patio area was too far from the green. I can't quite remember.
No, I didn't say from the patio area. I'd say just from the 18 green.
Oh, as they come in.
I'd rather do the heckle hole at a par 3, but I want it to be a whole thing.
That's right. Let's see real quick.
You're back.
They have a
No
layout.
time for that. No time for that.
Perfect soundtrack for Gamecock Larry on his motorized scooter. Also a good one to bring in our buddy Darlington Raceway President Kerry Thorpe, former USC Sports Information Director, joining us now on the Love Chevy phone lines. As always, Kerry, good to hear from you. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, everybody specifically in Columbia worried about today's 4 o'clock baseball game. But Bill has just assured us that the weather system is moving out. No rain there at Lake Murray, so we're in good shape, right, Bill?
Yeah, just looking at the real quick hourly forecast. I mean, it's the next hour, 9 a.m. If you're out there, 39 degrees and 84% chance of rain. But at 10 a.m. it drops to 9%, then 7%, down to 2% at 3 o'clock. We're in good shape. It's going to be a beautiful day. Cold day. Gotcha.
There you go. I'm guessing we obviously saw rain concerns and delays at Daytona 500, but quite the story of Michael McDowell winning that thing. What did you think, Kerry, of what went down? And you had Brad Keselowski, who ended up finishing second in our picks, 13th overall. Unfortunately, Bill Gunter had Denny Hamlin, and he gets the most points. He's off to the early lead.
Despite being held down again, I won last weekend.
Well, I tell you, you'll find it nice for been racing NASCAR for about 12 years. 358 career starts. It's probably best known for a horrific crash that was involved with Texas Motor Speedway back about 10 or 11 years ago. In fact, I was there that day. They walked away from it. But, yeah, I mean, he just beneficiary of somebody else's excuse back with that. Yeah, glad people know all that road goes. So it was, kind of being the right time. I was very, very happy.
Is that good for NASCAR to have this kind of upset underdog story to start the season, or do you think the sport needs more of the stars to shine in these kind of moments?
He's in the
He's-
chase. Yeah. Yep. Pretty cool.
These daughters of Raceway President Kerry Tharp joining us on the Love Chevy phone lines. I was wondering, Kerry, now they change it to the road course there at Daytona. How do you see things shaping up this weekend?
Yep. Love a good road course, I'm telling you. The technical aspects of it and everything, yeah, pretty cool.
All right, we need to get some picks in here before we run out of time. Kerry, you are our guest. I want to hear your pick. Our buddy Jess on the text lines pulling for Kyle Busch. I'm wondering if that's where you're going to go. You're going to go a different way.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Interesting. Jen took Blaney to win the Daytona last week. That's off the board now. Jen, where are you going this week?
See, Blaney was in my top 3 of choices, and I kind of see something coming in with Kyle Larson, but I'm going to just really upset Bill, and I'm going to go with last year's winner, and I'm going to go with Chase.
Yeah. Yeah.
Chase Elliott, Jen's choice.
Yeah.
Yeah, big favorite there. Chase is a good choice. There's 4 people I wrote down: Blaney, Elliott, and then you got Martin Truex Jr. and Kyle Busch. Those are the 4 guys. So I was really You know what, Jen? It's crazy how y'all hold me down each and every week, yet I continuously win.
Run out of time, Bill.
Because of that sleep number bed. Sleep number bed obviously is powering me to victory here. Martin Truex Jr. gets it done this week. I hate that, Jennifer. And by the way, is Kerry really a guest anymore? Didn't he just become a squatter? He's on every week, dude. He's not a guest anymore. He's part of the family.
I love it.
We'll only refer to you as a squatter from now on, Kerry, but I still appreciate you joining us, and I'm pulling for you in the picks contest this
I
weekend.
feel like the great uncle I should have had.
Daughters of Raceway President Kerry Tharp, at Kerry_Tharp, where you can follow him on Twitter. That'll do it for us this week. You got a Reggie Anderson pick for us as well this weekend, Jen?
I do not yet, but we will get that.
Slacker, Reggie. Legend.
Oh,
Yeah, right. All right, kids, that'll do it this week. Thanks for hanging with us on the live stream, everybody.
Good times. No, I did not play soccer at Lexington. I played Raphael. I played for Coach Klein travel soccer growing up. Yeah, no, I didn't. No, it was like the odds. Jen, I know they're the top 4, but that's because they're the 4 best picks: Blaney, Elliott, Truex, and Bush. Actually, Bush is Bush in the top 4. He's 15-1. I don't think he's in the top 4.
Alan, good luck on the amateur tour schedule there.
Oh boy.
I don't necessarily look at the odds beforehand. I can look at the past
Yeah.
achievements and such. I don't just cheat.
Heck of a time to start the amateur golf tour. Good luck to you, Alan. Waddy, appreciate you hanging out with us. We'll talk to you guys Monday morning, hopefully about a lot of baseball, some interesting golf, and who knows what else. Patrick hopefully will have his top 62 recapped for us, and I'm sure there'll be a lot of shuffling on the NFL draft analysis over the weekend.
It'll be at least 100 by the end of the weekend.
Wow. Sounds like a wild weekend.
Big weekend.
All right.
I'll be in the studio for at least.
That's a good point. Good point.
10 hours this weekend.
Nice.